smooth looking chair. But $459, that's a steep price. Zero so far.
Ooh. Them little games. Yeah, my armrests are feeling flimsy, dude. Mm-hmm. Mm. Ooh, you gonna get that House Stark, bro? Oh man, House Lannister. Ooh, Dark Knight. Yeah, League of Legends. Joker. No, it's ugly. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's the fact that they paid for it. Jesus, what is this? Horde. Ooh, I like that. Cyberpunk not available. That is sick. Yes. Yes. Oh, that is a sick chair.
Yeah, it does look pretty ridiculous.
We hit intermission now. Well, that's the scene. That's what the scene's called. But we're live now.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to. Well, typically I like to do like 5 minutes on the now starting page to give everybody a chance to get here. But since it seems like this is gonna be us, we're just gonna go ahead and go into it.
Where is Gobi?
I mean, he working, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But welcome everybody to the Wednesday edition of the OnlyFriends Podcast. Today we have Dark, Zaraki, and myself, Simp. And the topic for today, well, the first topic of the day that we're gonna get into is one Zaraki seemed to like, because he's he got
it's getting me hot and bothered, not gonna lie.
That's a little gross, but all right. That's a little gross considering got a whole living party going on.
I feel like Dark's gonna have a lot to contribute to this conversation.
Yeah, because he knows both those characters and he's watched all of Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. Like it's go ahead.
So Dark, the topic is Netero versus Roshi. In terms of who's a better character, who do you feel is more powerful? And then as an extension of that, who could win in an all-out fight?
I'm sorry.
Well, before you go, you mind if I go? Because I have the least information about this. Because Dark, I don't know if you remember, but you told me to start watching Hunter x Hunter. Not from the beginning. You said if you were to go back and watch Hunter x Hunter, he said Hunter x Hunter he said it's a good anime.
It is good anime.
He said I should watch it right where they were at now, which was at the ant saga, the ant arc. and he told me to actually watch it before. I can't remember. The one right before it was really good too, but I can't remember. I want to say it was like
Greed Island, probably.
Was it?
Yeah, Greed Island is before that.
It was about the dude that bulked up, and I think he was like kind of like a Brawly type fighting character or whatever, and he did something ridiculous to somebody, like drop kicked him or something like that. I can't remember, but I started watching it during the ant arc. And so I really didn't know who this character was, Neturo. I was like, well, who's this guy?
That's the thing, man. Like, I see why he told you to go in there, because like Hunter x Hunter is an investment. It is the longest anime that I have watched probably in the last decade. And it's not even finished.
Yeah, it's not finished.
No, Hunter x Hunter's not finished.
Wow. See, how long are they breaks usually?
Like years.
Oh my god, dude.
Like years? Like, for example, you want to know when we got the continuation that eventually led to us, like, you being able to see that? We got that continuation when we was living together, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, me and Hollywood was pumped about that we finally got that continuation.
Wow.
There you go.
How old is Hunter x Hunter?
So this version of Hunter x Hunter that you've seen is actually a remake. It's an update, I should actually say.
It's an update.
Yeah. The original Hunter x Hunter, is it older than you?
Well, is there a difference between an update? Is there a difference between what? Okay. Let's go back. Okay. Is there a difference between an update and a remake? Or is it practically the same thing?
Practically the same thing.
Okay. Now, how old is Hunter? I think I need to see what year.
The remake was in 2011. That's the one everybody knows. But they originally did the series in. Okay, never mind. The art style didn't hold up very well. The original Hunter x Hunter aired in 1999.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow, that is insane. Jeez.
Yeah, it just didn't get brought over.
See, I started watching during the ant
Chimera and
and I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I didn't take anything away from it negative. It was almost to the point where I was waiting on episodes to come out. Like, it felt like it back during Dragon Ball Z was new, dude. To be honest, like it kind of took me back during the Frieza saga when episodes were actually coming out new, and the fighting, the art style, like it's ridiculous, man. Like it was really done well. Even the storyline, from what little pieces I could grasp. Granted, I didn't watch it from the beginning, but during the ant arc, like it was done really well.
And see, that's the reason people really like Hunter x Hunter, because everything feels so grounded. Like, you get people that can do ridiculous things, and this is, you didn't get this because you didn't watch from the beginning. But in the beginning, they explain, once they actually start introducing the power system, they explain that with Nin, everyone has a certain type that they're able to use. For example, Gon is an enhancement type. I believe that's what it's called. I think it's an enhancement, but anyway, it allows him to augment like his strength. Kurapika, when his eyes are red,
is that how I pronounce his name? I kept saying Kurapika. Kurapika.
One of them is correct.
Yeah, I call him. I pronounce it. Not Kurapika.
Kurapika. No, you're right. You're right. Kurapika is how I pronounced it before I heard them actually say Kurapika. My bad.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. But when his eyes are red, he's a specialist. Specialists can use all the types.
What? But that must be rare.
Yes. It is incredibly rare. It is incredibly rare to be a specialist.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but now if I were to suggest Hunter x Hunter, I would 100% suggest you go back to the very beginning, because even though it's an investment, I think it's worth the investment.
Because No, my bad. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, it's just I'm just gonna say like you need it's very they go into detail about certain characters' backgrounds, and that's very important.
Mhm.
And I know back then we were kind of, oh, I want to kind of see the action, I want to see the good stuff. But now, since we're a little bit older, I think that you would actually enjoy getting that backstory about certain characters, like Karapika. Like Uwu was saying, his when his eyes change, he gets all of the nin abilities, and his,
Okay. Let me pause you right there.
Yeah.
What are all the nin abilities? I know you said there's enhancement.
That's what I'm gonna bring up now.
Got you.
But yeah, before go ahead. No,
Go ahead.
Okay, so Karapika's eyes are pretty much valued by a lot of the underworld. I'm kind of giving away a little bit of spoilers, but it's like things about his backstory, so you can kind of understand him. But
eyes.
Yeah, his eyes, his clan's eyes, his
see.
It's like
you don't know because
I don't want to say
it. Really integral. I get it. This is really integral to Karapika's character and his motivation,
Yes.
and the ultimately the nin abilities that he has. Like all of this ties together, which is really great because they not only make him an interesting character, but it also drives the plot of the story further. So, the best way that I can say is we leave this because we can't really go into a lot of his abilities without doing heavy spoilers in terms of his motivation and why he decided to become a hunter in the first place.
100.
Got you. Okay.
And that's worth learning about, going back.
So it's impossible for you to tell me his backstory then.
It 100%. Is without
spoiling.
Feeling spoiled somewhat. And it's interesting, even though, it's interesting. I'm not going to give anything away. It's interesting, and I think
I'm starting to recall some things about his family doing something to him. I don't know. I can't.
I think you're getting confused.
Yeah, I could.
And
be.
also Killua.
That's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm thinking about. Killua.
Dart. Bring it back, because all these are actually story points.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, oh my God.
I
don't want to give.
Okay, let's go back to the original topic.
So the nin ability. Well, you want to know what the nin abilities are? Well, the different types. So there's enhancement, which I described. Yeah, which is gone. He's able to augment his strength. There's transmutation, being able to turn something into something else. There's emission, which is basically, like beams and shit, or being able to like use projectiles. Conjuration, where you make stuff, because there are nin abilities that like they'll make armor, or they'll make chains, or they'll do something like that. There's manipulation, which manipulation is, I think it's the second rarest one, because I haven't. Manipulation is when you're able to control other things, obviously, but control others, be more coercive. And then there's specialization, which again is incredibly rare, which they can use all of them. Wow. There are, to be completely honest, in all of Hunter x Hunter, I'm looking at it right now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what's that, 6, 7, 8, 9? There are 9 characters. 9 that are specialists. To put that into perspective, let's do. This is fucking wild. To put it in perspective, if we were to add up all the other, like, we're just looking at notable people. If we were to add up all the notable people that are of the other specializations, on average, there's 15. And everyone that's a specialist is a major character. They drive the plot forward in some way.
Mm.
But anywho, the thing about Nin though that's super awesome is it's a reward. Well, it's well, what's the term I'm looking for? It is an equivalent exchange power system. So if you want big power, you have to give up something that to you is worth, like, is genuinely worth an equal amount.
Okay.
So, for example, you saw the Chimera Ant arc in its entirety.
Yeah.
So you saw Gone.
Yeah.
So that is a prime example of equivalent exchange. To get the ability to defeat Pito, he gave up his ability to use Nin. He gave up part of his lifespan, and he was willing to die if he ever used Nin again. Those three things: permanent death, losing the ability to be a hunter, which is what starts the show. That's his motivation for going for the show to start. He wanted to be a hunter. And then what I said, giving up Nin, and then giving up part of his lifespan. They don't go into depth about like how much of his lifespan he gives up, but apparently it's a significant portion. Like he's significantly, like I interpret as he shaved off 25 years or more.
Wow.
To gain the ability to fight Pito then and there.
But Pito was Pito even that strong?
Yes.
Yes, she was massively strong.
At that point in the show, she is the third strongest character in the show.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean the spiders are also strong characters too, but
spiders. That's what you told me to watch.
Pito at that time was only eclipsed by Netero and the Ant King.
Ant King. Okay, that's the guy that looks like Frieza. You know his name?
Miriam.
Okay.
Something like that. But
yeah. It's all starting to come back to me now.
And I absolutely love like this line that this, I won't even say it's a throwaway line. It's an internal thought because she couldn't verbalize because Gon was like breaking her face.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
When he kicked her and she like flew into the sky and she was just like, sure. And this internal dialogue happened where she was like, thank God he used this on me. Because at his current level, he's on par with the king.
That was ridiculous.
That is how much power he gained because he gave up so much. Like just the ability to never use, just losing the ability to use Nin. It's pretty fucking huge.
Yeah.
I want to just to play devil's advocate. I know you said just about like the king was stronger than Pito, but only reason why I would challenge that is because this is what makes Hunter x Hunter so interesting. You have these characters were essentially just created, like they were just born a few days ago. Like, so they're essentially new to the world. And they know that they're strong, and they essentially know their abilities, but they've yet to see other people's abilities, and they've yet to experience true battle. So it kind of gives the people that have seen battles and have seen and have seen other abilities, it kind of gives them an edge. That's why when you saw Killua fighting, I can't think of his name, but it's the other one. It's not Pito, but it was the dude with brute force strength. I can't think of his name, but he turned into like a horse type creature at one point. Do you know him? Do you remember?
I know you're talking about.
But Killua had used Godspeed, and the guy, I can't think of his name, but he had never seen anything like it. And even though he was physically and had, more powerful and had way more, nin than Killua, he couldn't lay a finger on Killua. And Killua was doing damage to him, but it wasn't that much damage. But it showed that guy that what Killua could be if he just had a little bit more time to train.
See, that's why I
so
said at that time she's the third strongest. Now it's established. It's not even speculation. It is established that when the king is born, he is the strongest of all the Chimera ants.
Oh,
The guards
100%.
acknowledge this.
100%.
The narrator acknowledges this. The whole thing between him and Netero, that's a huge debate. Even though
how old was the king when he was born? I mean, like when he was fighting Netero.
Like maybe a week.
That is insane.
Yep.
What's their lifespan? Do you know?
It's no telling. It's probably
yeah.
hundreds of years.
Yeah, they don't
Oh
really
my
go
God.
into it. See, again, this is because you watched while the arc was going, so you didn't get the full backstory. Like the island that these particular creatures reside on is restricted. Like nobody's supposed to go there because of how they work, and how the Chimera ants work is when they kill a creature, they can ingest, like the queen will ingest a creature, and then she is able to take properties from that creature and imbue them into her offspring.
Oh, okay.
So that like, because originally they just started off as, ants. That's why they're called Chimera ants. But that's where the Chimera portion comes in, because she's able to, like, let's say she ate an alligator. Like, she managed to kill and eat an alligator. Well, if she deems, she would look at the, like, oh, the hide on this alligator is really tough. That would make a great skin. So then her offspring would have that skin. And so on and so forth. That's why they are able to walk on two legs, while some of them can fly, and while some of them can change their form, because of the different creatures that went into their makeup, that the different properties she absorbed and is able to imbue into her children.
Well, that begs the question: what
See,
went into the makeup?
That's a plot line. That's a plot line. See,
okay.
that's why I didn't go into that. That's a plot line.
Got you. Okay.
This is why watching from the beginning is preferred, because not only do you get attached more to the characters and you learn their relevance and why they do what they do and why they act how they act, you then encroach upon major story elements that you can see lead into particular things. Like when Hunter x Hunter first aired, the Chimera Ant arc wasn't even a thing. Like, it stopped at the arc right before the Chimera Ant arc. Yeah, and that's just all there was, because it hadn't been written. So
I need to watch this again, dude. I need to pick that anime back up.
It's incredible.
Because the last episode that I was on, they were entering Gon and Killua were entering some big building. That's the last episode that I remember.
Probably
it was
the
after
Hunter Society.
You should just go back and watch it from the very
Heaven's
beginning.
Arena was before the Chimeran arc.
Yeah. It was right after the Chimera.
Yeah, he's only seen the Chimeran arc, so he was you probably saw like the beginning of the election arc.
Oh,
so that's what watch. That's a long watch though, but I really think you should. I enjoyed Hunter x Hunter. Even though it was kind of, some people could say, "Oh, it's kind of slow at the beginning."
It is.
I don't really. I mean, but the thing about it is, like, I will give certain animes a pass on being slow, especially if you pick up in certain parts of the anime and it's good. Like, there's a good kind of slow and there's a bad kind of slow. If that makes any sense.
No, it does.
For me, that is.
No, it does.
I like seeing the relationship between Killua and Gon grow. as well as the relationship between the rest of the characters too. I liked seeing that, and it wasn't so much so that it started to get annoying. It was a little bit here and there, and then something would pop off, and then they would go back to it, and then even their teamwork, you could kind of see that start to grow, and little by little. And I don't know, man. It's just so like also the way Kahlua grew up and the way Gon grew up and their attitudes, they don't seem like the type of characters if they grew up they would like each other. It seemed like they would like kind of be like on opposite sides of the spectrum. But since they're kids, they're able to kind of look past certain things about each other and be like, he's a pretty cool kid. He's my age. He's not dumb. I don't know. I like things like that.
Yeah.
But I just kind of hate when people just refer to a lot of anime that has certain, a little bit of build up. I hate when people just say, "Oh, that anime's slow." Like, yeah, but there's a good kind of slow, and there's a good kind of slow, and there's a bad kind of slow.
Yeah.
And people don't really dive into that. They just say, "Oh, it's slow," and slow a lot of time means bad, and it just annoys me sometimes.
Mm.
But I can definitely tell you that it is once it does start slow. Your first 5 or 6 episodes, you're just like, okay, that's kind of entertaining. Whatever. You're like, the first 5 or 6 you would watch because it's on. It definitely would be one of those anime you only watch it because it's on. But once they actually start the hunter exam, once they genuinely start the hunter exam, then you're hooked. Because then you meet my favorite character, which is Hisoka. He is so weird.
I think I know who that is.
Definitely.
But he, I can't say this because this gives away part of his character, and I really want you to experience that for your first, like yourself for the first time. But seeing even his character development over time, but also seeing his abilities are pretty insane. Like, he's my favorite character simply because there's no other character that's even like close to being like him. Like he is wholly unique in every,
that's a good trait to have.
Yeah. And then also once you actually get to watching it, then you'll have more of a nuance on the actual topic, because now we were supposed to be talking about who will win with who's a better character. Well, who do we feel is a better character? Who would win in an all-out fight? And I forgot the third aspect that I said between Netero and Roshi. But I guess I'll start off the actual main topic of the conversation. Well, the actual main topic by saying, as far as a better character, I'm going to say Roshi's a better character. Like, Roshi is... Now, granted, that's by the virtue of Roshi being far more fleshed out than what they did for Netero.
Netero, yeah.
Like, Roshi is way more fleshed out and is way more prominent, and, like, the Turtle Hermit, man, come on. Like, I've never seen somebody cosplay Netero, but Roshi? I see cats all the time do Roshi.
Yep.
Then let's not forget Jackie Chun. Like, and of course, I should let anybody that listens to this know I am super biased, because my favorite fight in all of Dragon Ball Z is in the World's Strongest, when it's Roshi. Like, because it was genuinely, it's the only time outside of Dragon Ball that, except for, super recently, but that's super recent, where you saw Roshi actually like fight in his old age.
Yeah.
That was a good fight too, man.
Bro, yes.
That was a good fight.
And I was just like, oh, he still got it. Because I just remember this one scene, and this is a credit to the animators. and the storyboard artist for making that scene. And let me see if I can find it real quick, because you already know, because I talk about the same stuff all the time. Let me see if I can find this real quick.
Are you looking for it? I'm gonna say that maybe as a character, he's better. Like I said, you have more to work with. But as far as just likability or just enjoyment, I'll choose Netero all day. It's unfortunate. Netero, like, he's literally the peak of Hunter. So of course they wasn't gonna just show him that much. And Roshi was at a sense the strongest. Even in the movie, he was considered the strongest, but that quickly got overtaken. Netero was the strongest hunter, and even to this day can still be considered the strongest hunter. So of course we didn't see much of him, but just his personality and his respect towards even the newer people, his fight, like everything about Netero was just impossible to dislike, in a sense.
I'm gonna also say, well, I'm gonna say, as far as of course, I'm gonna say, Master Roshi is a far more fleshed out character, and like Uwu was saying, he's been more prominent in the show, but as a just as a character overall, I think Netero is better. It I like we've already established in the past. I don't really care for fan service, and Master Roshi has that. I mean, granted, it's whenever we see Master Roshi, it's fan service. I'm not even gonna lie anymore, especially in Super. Especially in Super, but in the past, come on now, it kind of got Super, but in the past, come on now, it kind of gets on my nerves at points, and I mean maybe it's just a me thing, but regardless, you don't have to deal with that with Netero, so that's a point in Netero's favor for me, and also I will argue that Netero is a more important character if you were just weighing Master Roshi versus Netero. Like I think Netero was more pivotal in the Hunter x Hunter series, which is to me far more interesting than some of the things that Master Roshi did, because Netero, he put his life on the line and he actually died for the world, and that's, to me, that's far more intriguing than any of the things I've seen Master Roshi do personally. So that's why I choose Netero.
So let's look at this like factually. As far as strength, Roshi's stronger than Netero.
Easy.
100%. It's not even a question. Like,
tell that to Star, because he just said he's not.
First of all, Netero's. I looked this up. Master Roshi is over 300 years old, and I mean you can read into this however you want to, but Netero's only is on Google. He's over 110 years old. So I mean, right there, Master Roshi has more experience, and you can argue it. You can argue it. It's not not like I did any deep dives to find this information. I just Googled it, but I will say the scales on Dragon Ball Z outweigh the scales on Hunter x Hunter. Now the abilities are different in Hunter x Hunter, but Netero straightforward. When we saw Netero fight, it was no tricks. This man was straightforward. You saw his attacks. If you're strong enough, you can see his attacks coming. You can dodge them. He didn't play with your mind or anything like that. It was straightforward. On a speed scale, I think Master Roshi, like, I guess depending on which Master Roshi we're talking about. If we're talking about Dragon Ball Z Master Roshi, I think that he's stronger than Netero. Definitely.
I mean, to be fair, There's probably no version of Master Roshi who's weaker than Netero. Unfortunately,
You
not
don't think Dragon Ball?
unfortunately.
Well, even
Yeah,
no, well, never mind.
he's
Even
moon in
even
Dragon Ball.
he's still the same strength. He's still
Yeah, he's still
you
always
know
been old. We just got to
yeah
learn
ever
his
since he
strength as the series continues.
Can
yeah
Roshi die by old age?
I think he drunk like a fountain of youth or something.
He
I,
did.
I can't remember
yeah
exactly.
He drunk
yeah
an elixir that he's technically immortal. Technically, because he cannot die of old age. He
Okay.
can be killed,
Yeah.
but he cannot die of old age.
Okay,
So
I figured that.
I think it's already established that Netero got weaker as he got older.
No,
Yeah.
so it was more so established that Netero got weaker because he stopped training as he got older. Like his age, like from how I interpret it anyway, his age didn't play a part into why he lost. It was more so the overpowered nature of the Ant King and
Yeah.
the fact that he had stopped training because at that point in his life there was no one that could challenge him. Like, you got to think, the way they set this up, had he continued training, there would have been no possible way for the Ant King to actually defeat him.
You know, it's crazy. People have speculated, even in his prime, that he still couldn't beat the Ant King.
And they are completely ignoring the fact of the nuance that even in the fight that they established, that the reason he lost wasn't for a lack of strength. He lost because of pattern. Because for every 1,000 or so hits,
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
yeah, Miriam would be like, "Oh, that's a slight pattern. Okay, I'm learning a little bit more." Like this was not a thing of strength, that which also, it's already established that he was even faster with the ability in his prime.
Yeah.
So these people that are like, he couldn't even beat him in his prime, you're telling me, and he even admits, he's like, yeah, I used to be almost twice as fast in my prime.
Wow.
And Miriam couldn't get through that defense as he was as 12-year-old man in his prime. In his prime, Miriam wouldn't have been able to even like come close. I'm 100% certain of that.
Is, if you notice, Miriam never even had to use an inability.
Yeah, he didn't. He just used raw strength.
So that's where their argument goes. It's because, in a sense, he never went all out against Netero. I mean,
And so,
yeah, I said right. Yeah, Netero.
This is where my thing comes in. Even without him using an inability, we can all agree that he was using his full strength. He wasn't like taking it easy. Until he learned the pattern that Netero used to attack, he wasn't taking it easy. Once he learned the pattern, then he would just exploit that. But with it going twice as fast, you can surmise either one of two things would have happened. Either he would have learned the pattern twice as fast, or it took him twice as long to surmise a pattern. But even then, if let's say he learned twice as fast, you still have a Netero who has a much younger body, a much sharper mind, and a much more powerful body at that. So we can't say that the same outcome, like once he learned the pattern, would come true.
Definitely.
And true. And at the same time, though, more so the problem would be, or the question would be, does Netero have the output to actually finish off the king? Because regardless of how many more times he hit him, if he can't put him down, then the same outcome is inevitable.
No, I agree. I agree. If he can't put him down, But we also know his control over Nin got strong is the only thing that increased in aged. It increased as he aged. Because it's that whole exchange. It's that whole thing, exchanging power for wisdom. Like he had a ton of power as in his youth, and he just started exchanging that for wisdom and how to use his ability in a more refined way. Whereas I personally believe that with a stronger body and less like refinement of his nin, when it came down to it, because he's already established that he can use that shit one hand. Well, it's already canon. We've seen he can use that shit one handed. What we don't know is if he could always do that, or if that's something he learned in older age. Because if he could always do that, and that shit comes up in an instant, there's no time, no gap. Like he makes the sign, the shit happens.
And I still think it's a weakness, the fact that he was born a week ago, bro. Like, that Netzero's been through all these battles, and he's in his youth, and he's like looking for a challenge. You know, he's looking for somebody that's strong. And
that is insane.
You know, and I feel like that's a major difference. Netero wasn't necessarily looking for a fight. He was excited for it, but he wasn't looking for something like this to just happen. Especially when this man's out of shape, not training. I feel like going into that battle with a different mindset and a different, like Uwe said, it's an entirely different situation. And also, I want to add, the reason why I keep bringing up the being born a week ago is because it plays such a major part in your actual nin abilities. You have to get used to that. If he don't give you time, it don't matter what you could possibly do, because you don't got time to learn your abilities. Pito and the rest of the three Kingsguard, the rest of the two of the Kingsguard, they actually had time because they weren't going against people as strong as them. Like, if they had people on their actual level fighting them, I don't think they would have stood much of a chance if they didn't already know their abilities. Because
no, that's
Pito destroyed Kite immediately.
No, I will say that is a good point that he made.
Kite is not,
because they were learning abilities. I forgot who it was. One of them learned an ability as they were fighting.
Yuppie?
There we go. Yeah.
Actually, no. Pito did too.
As they were fighting,
they all did. They all did.
Yeah.
They all did. The weakest one, in my opinion, was the butterfly dude, because Killua could have killed him.
He broke. He's broken his
Nah.
Like,
so who's the weakest one in y'all opinion?
I would say Yumi. Yuppie.
Yuppie?
I would say Yuppie. Because
they had some strong, each one had like a strong element.
Yeah, they did. They did. But I'm just saying, Killua was not going against the butterfly dude.
Oh, like overall, in my opinion, I say Pito is the strongest out of the three. Because, in terms of combat ability, I regard her as the strongest fighter. Both in strength. Well, I won't say strength, in combat, in raw combat ability and intelligence. I rate her as the strongest of the three. And then also, it helps that, well, as we saw when she got launched by
funny.
She has a super broken ability. Because I didn't know that when she uses that nin ability, that it has to remain stationary. Yeah. Which, again, that ties into what we were talking about before, how the strength of an ability is determined by what the user is willing to give up and their overall understanding and control of nin. So that thing can heal mortal wounds, like we saw, like. Mm-hmm. But since it can't move, and since she's attached to it, that is a huge restriction.
Yep, and she can't use any other ability while
she can't use any. Yeah, that is a huge restriction. Huge. So
she's oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say she's definitely the most intelligent out of the three. She thinks about well, they all think about the king constantly. I don't want to go into detail about that, but I do think as tactically she's the smartest. I mean, and if Yuppie is of course the dumbest, and the butterfly dude, he's just in love with the king.
Up.
Like it's kind of, But anyways, um, I'm kind of getting off track or whatever, but the king, I don't know. I'm getting off track. Are we still, I guess, Star, you can go. Talk about what you wanted to say or whatever.
No, I didn't have nothing for that. I mean, you may can argue the butterfly Pete. What the freak was what the heck is the butterfly's name?
I don't know. I don't
People
know.
really like
I can't remember his name.
He was annoying, bro. He's like awkward for the king, bro. It was annoying. Oh, my king! I gotta go
like,
save him.
I mean, he was cool, but man, whatever
even
his
the part-
name was, he is intelligent though. Like,
Yes, he is. He's really smart. Even the part where, bro, I'm sorry, I gotta mention this. Even the part where the king was about to die, and the butterfly dude saved him was sus, bro. he had to turn into some like liquid or whatever and went in the king's mouth. And bro, I don't care what nobody. It was sus, bro.
Bro, I do not remember that. It's been so long since I. Oh my god,
Bro,
That's his
sus,
name.
Sus, bro.
Like they're
Oof,
and,
okay,
we
yeah.
actually forgot their like full names. P2, her name is Neferpitu, since that's why she's a cat. Nefertiti, Neferpitu.
Yeah.
Shayapoof, that is the butterfly guy, and then Minthuthu Yupi is Yupi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
His name
those.
sucked.
He had I think he had the most nin out of all three of them.
He had the most raw, like just strength in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poof had the most nin out of the three.
Exploded.
Mm.
He could explode and
Construct himself.
reconstruct himself.
And
that was
let's
insane.
not forget that Poof can split his body into smaller versions of himself, survey the battlefield, and then when they rejoin, have the knowledge of all of them.
Oh,
like he was actually really strong. He was just annoying.
Yeah, he was very annoying, but like he's a very broken like character in the
when
in the series.
I guess spoiler. Once the Ant King dies and come back, his ability is one of the reasons he was so broke, because he can just read your mind in a sense.
Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous. He was like he could see like emotions or like yeah, it was weird, but it was a really broken ability, especially if you're just trying to find out the truth or whatever. Like, it's insane. Like, that was the thing about Poof. His abilities are what made him strong. He didn't have any raw strength. So, like, against Killua, that's not probably the best opponent for him. And opponents kind of matter in Hunter x Hunter as well. Because if you go against the wrong dude, you're going to get messed up.
Yeah, definitely. I guess quick spoiler again, though. Currently, they're visiting the Dark Continent, who are supposed to have even more powerful Chimera Ants.
What? I gotta start watching it again.
Okay, yeah, the Dark Continent is the reason it's called the Dark Continent is because again, this is one of those forbidden places. Hunter x Hunter loves forbidden places for some reason. But only the strongest hunters are even allowed to go there, and even then, they're told not to. So yeah, the Dark Continent has like, and also it's called the Dark Continent because no one knows the extent of the creatures that live there. Like they just know it is it's an incredibly dangerous place that is full of incredibly strong beings that nobody wants any part of that.
The crazy
100%.
part is, I don't know if you remember or if y'all seen like when they panned out like to show the Dark Continent or just where the cast has been so far. it's pretty much just like, I don't know, if you're just looking at Kentucky and hasn't visited the whole United States, like it's such a
Wow.
huge amount that's been unseen. It's crazy.
I hope they
Dang.
actually get to see it in an anime, like an actual anime.
Well, that's all depends on Homeboy. If he stop freaking Dance Revolution all day and actually come back and write his story.
Let's get ready to
Zerakai, have you seen Chrollo versus Killua's father and grandfather?
Did it happen a long time
No,
ago?
So remember, you're talking about things that took place before the Chimera Ant arc, and you only told him to watch the Chimera Ant arc.
Well, I think I told him to watch other parts too. I'm just trying to see if
did you- okay, did they
to watch the Chimera art?
Yeah, because that was
the
yeah,
what?
But that was that. Wait, what?
Greed Island, baby.
Yeah, see, I don't know anything about that. But
York
did this
New City is arguably even better than the Chimera art. At least entertainment.
That's what I was.
Bruh.
That's why I was telling him earlier before you came in the stream. I was telling him that he should go now. You know, now since we're older, I said if I was to refer to you to go back and watch it, I would tell you to watch the entire thing because there's a lot of good things. You know, it's a good series. You should definitely watch it.
To your credit, you were trying to get me to watch the entire thing. And I was just like, man, I ain't going. And you was just like, all right, fine, just watch the Chimera art. And I was like, fine. But I really enjoyed it though.
Slow. Chimera art starts slower than the actual series.
See, but I didn't start from the beginning of the Chimera art.
Okay.
You didn't even. Oh my god.
Nope.
You probably missed out on a lot of information.
I did. That's why I really can't contribute. Like when the conversation started, I really can't contribute much. I can't even remember where I began in the Chimera art. I'm trying to remember. Do y'all remember the first episode of the Chimera art?
I don't remember the first episode, but
no, that's actually no. He did watch it. He did watch it because the part you were talking about, you were watching. What's the gangster's name? The dude that has the pompadour, who has
Knuckles.
Yeah, there we go. He was watching Gon fight Knuckles because that's how the Chimera Ant arc started. They didn't think Gon was strong enough to go. Well, they didn't think Gon or Killua were strong enough to go fight the Chimera Ants, so they had to beat them.
It started a lot sooner than that because that's after
what's his face gets
Kite
killed.
died. Yeah.
But that's where,
that was after Kite died.
That's where
Wait a minute.
That's where he's seen it.
Talking about who killed Kite? P2?
Yeah.
Yes.
Immediately. And it's also sad though. Kite Man.
Where?
I don't even want to start talking about this because I don't like Kite Man.
Why not?
He like the old Kite. The old Kite was ridiculous too.
Guys, man, that was some bullshit, bro. Like, come on,
everybody
man.
But
at the same time, I respect it though, because man, I don't care who.
ACR, bro.
Ain't nobody has said they expected that, bro.
ACR.
Nah.
He came out of nowhere. We ain't got to see that this dude was Ging's best friend. Wham! We was like, oh, he gonna live somehow. Nah.
No, you the ACR, bro.
No.
Hey, start the ACR, y'all. The anime character reaper, bro. If you like them, they gonna die.
That shit was tragic,
I guess we can talk about another topic then. Y'all want?
I mean, no, like we actually like really went into this. Like we strayed, we stayed on topic, but strayed off topic. If that makes sense. Because like since you haven't seen Hunter x Hunter, you don't particularly know like Netero's like abilities and his character and his fighting prowess. So thankfully,
because I've only seen him in that one fight.
I mean, you're only going to see him in that one fight.
Oh.
Yeah, he shows up like occasionally because he's the leader of the Hunter Foundation. So you see him occasionally, like you see him at the Hunter exam, you see him sparingly. We don't really like see Netero except in that fight, which by the way, that
fight was good.
That fight.
Yeah.
Everything about that fight was fantastic.
So what kind of nin does he have? Like Conjuring?
Oh, Netero?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Do you,
I think he's an enhancer, but he might be a.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know? Because this is kind of a spoiler, because I know how your mind works, and if I tell you this and you go back and watch it, you'll actually like really kind of like ruin it for yourself a little. Well, you'll ruin it for yourself a little bit, because you'll start to see connections between characters.
For the stream's sake, yes.
Netero's a specialist.
Okay. You know, I guess this is going to be a odd opinion or whatever they call it, but I feel like specialist is a cop out.
Like, in some cases it is, but if you look at his main ability, that is enhancement, that is conjuration, that is transmutation, and that is manipulation. Because what it can do, like first he manifests it, so it's conjuration. No. Then the strength of it, because he has to, he's using his strength to give it strength. So that's the transmutation aspect, that he's able to do that. Then the manipulation, because as you get hit by it, Miriam is strong enough to resist it, but they talked about how it can alter your perception of time as you continue to get hit by it.
That's broke as fuck.
It's broke as fuck. Hell yeah. It's fucking broke as fuck. Because like as he keeps hitting you, like by this, and because it hits so fast, your perception of time starts to like get really whacked out, because you're like, man, this thing is hitting me. Every time I move, it hits me. Whereas he uses it mainly defensively, except against Miriam. He went all offense on that motherfucker. And then we actually saw him like enhance it further when he used the second form of it, that I didn't even think it could be better. But okay. Oh, send you of 1,000 hands looking head ass.
I know.
That shit was so funny when he got Pito. He would call that when he called Pito little ant, and he said, "I'm finna put you out of the whole fight." And he was gonna smack him across the country, bruh.
Across the whole continent. Bruh. She got so lucky that she had that ability.
Man.
I just want to say, I posted the Carollo Zodiac fight, and I know you probably, this is why I like Hunter x Hunter. Like it gives you so much explanation, even in the middle of the fight. You be like, man, I wonder what that does. They're gonna explain it. You don't have to worry. They're gonna explain it.
Hunter x Hunter explaining it. But that narrator can't wait. That narrator can't wait. That boy, he be like, bro, when Shoot was going against Yuppie, I think that might be the funniest one. That man said, well, he put the bandana over his heart. It didn't make him stronger or anything. It just made him feel better. I was like, oh my okay.
God. I mean, that is cool though.
See, this is why you should watch my favorite arc. Like we can't play it. We can't play it on the stream. My favorite arc is Greed Island.
You know, a lot of people dislike that arc, and I have no idea why.
Because they didn't play card games. Like, that's why I know that's why I like it, but also because of the character growth that takes place throughout the entire arc. That is in my opinion, that's the arc where they grew the most as characters.
Yeah.
Because they had to overcome their own shortcut. Because, like, fuck that explosion, dude. Fuck.
Oh, gun through. Oh, Lord, that fight was so. That was fights that going just really. I like going always, but that fight, I was like,
fuck.
Yeah, I love going.
I was like, fuck, boy. But
that little kid is insane.
but
Yeah.
And it's funny because I mean, cut you off. That's also funny because it leads up to Goins' rage and against the Pito thing. Because everybody always saying like, "Well, he's such a good kid." Nah, that little kid was insane. Like that little kid been insane.
You watch that fight. It's over at 3:30 to Zerkai.
Got you. Okay.
but
Also introduced one of my favorite characters in that series, and I would love to see him more. And that's Razor. I want to see that dude like, bro. When you can
Better
sit there and
stop or we
talk,
die.
nah, dude, Razor. See, that's another reason why I love that. I said because I was finna say
The Greed Island?
I was finna say the
Yeah.
Greed Ant arc, the Greed Island arc. Like that that was super refreshing because it was a change of pace from your end of the arc boss battle.
Yeah.
That was way better because like while no one's life was at stake,
Mm.
it was still suspenseful.
They like
that's-
show could have been in state because he remember when he threw that thing and knocked dude's head off.
He was weak. That man was weak. But it was but see, that's what I'm saying. It was so good because like there was tension, and to me that is a hallmark of good storytelling when you can create tension without putting lives at stake.
Yeah. On top of that, you gotta think though, man. We all knew about Hisoka. And this man, not only was he putting pressure for Hisoka, this man stood with his chest out against the Phantom Troop and was like, what's up, guys? Y'all not supposed to be on this island. And they was even just like,
Bruh. They're like, huh? And it was like, bye-bye. And I was like,
Man.
all right, bruh. All right, bruh. See, and that's why we didn't see Razor again. Because as a
Nah.
story plot line, if he was in the main canon, nah. He's a little too powerful.
I forgot somebody kept trying to tell me like, cause I kept asking, I think I was joking about Hisoka. I was like, man, Hisoka didn't have that tongue out about Razor. You like strong people so much, but you weren't doing all that about Razor. They was like, because the Razor's not that strong. I'm like, nah, you can shut the hell up with that.
Razor's pretty ridiculous.
He's not
That man didn't want none of them problems.
Razor was
Damn.
ridiculous.
The crazy part about it though, that man, he fought like, well, you would think he's an enhancer, but he was probably more so an mentor and a manipulator. But he also had to conjure the little demons also. So it's like, what? Like, dude is just powerful. Dude was powerful.
Yeah, it was pretty bananas. And I was just like, oh, man. That's why I love the series, man. It's too damn
welcome,
good.
welcome, Star Phaso and Yume. Cheesy.
So
What's up, Yumi?
We almost
yeah.
got the whole gear now.
Y'all happen to come so the original topic was Netero versus Roshi. But then we once we found out that Zaraki hadn't seen all of Hunter x Hunter, but he'd only seen the Chimera Ant arc, then we kind of went into the merits of Hunter x Hunter as a show just in general.
I swear the narrator needs his own character. Like, he needs a name of his own, bro. Without that narrator, Hunter x Hunter would probably not be nearly as entertaining as it is.
See, that's like Mr. Announcer.
He's so great.
Like I don't know if I know Zaraki remembers because we talk about this every so often. I'm pretty sure Dark remembers as well. We end up talking about Metabots for whatever reason, and we always bring up Mr. Announcer because Mr. Announcer just shows up anywhere.
Oh yeah, anywhere.
Yep.
Just comes out the woodwork, and I'm like, this man creepy as hell, boy. This man comes out the woodwork.
God, that dude is hilarious, bro.
It's so bad that I
Mr.
watched
Announcer
this
or
show,
Mr.
I never
Referee?
noticed that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Referee. It's Mr. Referee.
Yeah, Mr. Referee. Yeah, dude, that dude is the GOAT, bro.
I've never even noticed. I was just so young. I was just like, yeah, what? Now thinking about it, that man used to pop up literally anytime some Metabots was about to
Yep.
fight.
Whenever they about to spar, bro, you know who coming, dog. Oh man.
I remember one time he
Ridiculous.
came out trash, bruh. Like he came out a whole ass trash bag to call this fight.
Bruh, how do you even know? How do you even set up for this, dude?
Bruh.
This man
You
just
got eyes and ears everywhere, man.
Metabots that was a good show, dude. Oh man.
I like
That's
shows like that.
hilarious.
Like I mean, can you call Metabots a futuristic show? It's like sub-future. Like, cause I mean, they got fighting robots. Like, what is it? Still got driving cars, but you got literally fighting robots. So it's like you don't see that nowadays. You ain't gonna probably never see that. I mean, maybe possibly in the future 1,000 years from now. But I mean, you know, come on now. So what would you call that? Like, I mean, sub-future? I don't know. Anime, I guess. I don't know. I think about things like that from time to time, like futuristic animes, and I don't know, like sub-futuristic animes. I don't know.
It was good though, man. It was intense.
See, and that's just it. See, that's probably that actually can lead us into the next topic, which is good animes that had disappointing endings or terrible endings. Metabots was I like to give Sword Art Online a lot of I said Sword Art Online. Attack on Titan. I like to give Attack on Titan a lot of flack for this. But Metabots was actually the first one that had let their hype die. Because Metabots was a super hyped up show. Like a lot of people liked it. It was very popular.
Yeah.
But at the time that it aired, we were in the 4Kids era as well. And we just never got this. We never got the end of the first season, nor did we get the second season. Because the show was immensely popular, but the merchandise didn't sell super well because there wasn't a lot. Like you had a couple toys because they weren't. It was like a whole Baby Yoda situation. They weren't prepared for the popularity of Metabots, so there wasn't a lot of stuff in the pipeline. And then it blew up, and like they're like, "Oh, we don't have anything." And well, when you don't have anything, this ain't like adults. Like kids were the Metabots, so there was nothing to buy. So kids was just like, "Roger that."
I think we touched on a series with bad endings.
Yeah, I think we touched on that before in our previous.
My bad.
One of our previous. I can't
I
remember.
did think of another one though. Like we didn't touch on. Well, at least I didn't ever mention, and that is Beyblade G Revolution. It pissed me off so mad because that's easily my favorite arc, where the original Beybladers all had to split up and have their own teams. And man, I always have I don't like main characters often, and this was one of the reasons why. Because Tyson was a piece of shit, man. This fat fuck just sat around, wasn't doing no training, wasn't doing nothing. This dude Kai literally was splitting mountains in the winter, in a blizzard, training so hard. But boy, when that main character power came in that final fight, I'm talking about I was pissed. I was pissed.
I never watched Beyblades. Have anyone of y'all watched Beyblades?
Nah, I haven't.
No.
Watch the Metal Fusion or Metal Fury series.
Oh no, I was done with Beyblade by that time. It was one of those. I was just unfortunate to have came across the dub, and it scarred me. I was like, man, I've not heard something this bad in time. that voice acting was pitiful.
Do y'all
I just never
consider
came back.
Avatar an anime?
No.
No,
Not really.
Okay, but I mean, how do y'all feel about the series overall? Do y'all not care about it? Do y'all like it?
I mean it's a good
I never
series.
watched
It's
it.
good, but not not on a high level for an anime standard, but it's like definitely the best cartoon, American cartoon.
Yeah,
I can definitely agree with that. How did y'all feel about the ending?
No, the ending was super
original. I
appropriate.
liked it.
yeah. The ending of the original was super appropriate. Like that one, it tied into a lot of the lessons that we learned throughout. That there's always another way. It let Aang stay pacifist because Aang didn't kill anyone, and he never wanted to kill anyone, and that was part
Except
of his
that
whole
one.
anxiety.
Yeah.
Listen,
What?
listen. There's always an exception that proves the rule.
What
Now.
do you mean?
So that's
one bug out of anger.
that's a cliche. So the rule there has to be an exception. Like well, let me say this correctly. Most rules are typically made because of an example, because of something happening. Like for example, in the Navy, there's a saying that all rules are written in blood, and that's because someone has died, and that's why the rule is created. Now, as far as Aang not wanting to kill anybody, that's pretty well established, and for him finding a way to not kill the Fire Lord, because the entire series he didn't even want to fight the Fire Lord, to be completely honest. But he also didn't want to kill the Fire Lord, even though all of his past lives were saying, except for
Kill him, yeah.
I'll keep wanting to call him Iroh. Oh God.
Oh, sorry. No, that's
Yeah.
not his name. Roku, my bad.
Roku, yes, except for Avatar Roku. Yeah. Avatar Roku is the only one that even suggested there was another way. That he just had to find it, and that's how he found out about energy bending. But
I'm a little mixed on how that came.
what's up?
I'm a little mixed on how the lion turtle suddenly showed up. Like, if they brought it up, like, maybe at the beginning of the last season, I would have been okay, but it came up really close to the end.
It did.
I mean,
That's something
Oh,
we
yeah,
like to
like that
call.
Oh, it cut out at the perfect moment, bro.
It did.
Oh man, it cut out, bro.
now it's not as bad as Legend of Korra. I just want to
Oh,
throw that
no,
out
definitely not. I mean,
Like,
I really like Avatar.
I've
I'm just
tried
saying
that for a
that
second, boy. She was such
that
a
was a little
disappointment.
bit shaky.
Yeah.
It was a little on the nose, little
Yeah.
convenient.
A little sudden.
that this
I mean, I
lion
still
turtle.
like the concept of energy bending and him not having to kill the Fire Lord.
Yeah, well, too bad we didn't get an ending like that for Korra, but
Korra was just
One
like,
of the
dumpster fire.
one of the things that annoyed me about Korra, I mean, I guess it kind of is a double-edged sword.
Is this what we doing?
But
Are we bashing Korra? Is this
No,
what
no,
we
no,
doing?
no.
Yeah. Let's do it.
No. I mean,
I'm
watched
all
the
for
series-
it.
I watched the series and I liked some things about the series, but I disliked some things about the series.
I watched it and I forgot about it.
Oof.
Oh, there's only one thing that I liked. There's one thing I remember about Korra are the two villains, both the villains. To me, they were
and
good.
Kuvira.
Yeah,
I already know which ones you're talking about because they were the best characters that the show introduced.
and that's the only thing I really liked about it. That's the only thing I remember about it.
their
and that's saying a lot.
Their motivations you could relate to. Like Kuvira, her whole motivation was to protect her country. She lived through the tyranny of the Fire Nation, and she wanted no part of that. She fuck the Earth Queen, fuck the monarchy. Nah, we are the Earth Kingdom. We are powerful. We are strong. We gonna defend our own shit. You either with me or against me. Rada da. Understood.
Yeah.
Zahir, anarchist, complete anarchist. However, he had his own philosophy. Well, I can't say his own philosophy. He interpreted airbending philosophy as more of as a basis for his anarchy. Because blaming the entire Avatar cycle, which you can see how he came to that conclusion, and you can sympathize with how he, like, the Avatar as a whole, while a force for good, has done a lot to fuck over the world. And then that whole, 100 years where the Avatar didn't exist really kind of let shit get out of hand. So I can understand and I can't even call it rage, because that's one thing you never really saw Zahir do. Zahir never really got mad, except for when his girlfriend didn't have no arms, except for when she died, because she could do things. That's why I felt he was upset.
She still got a mouth,
bruh. She a waterbender, bruh.
You know what a nugget is? Let me not. Okay.
Bruh. She could do some things.
Oh man.
Like, yeah, she could do some things, but
yeah.
One of the things. Oh, go
ahead, bro.
No, because I'm gonna just say something after you get done with Zahir. Because
I was gonna say Zahir was my favorite character that got introduced in all of Korra. Because his motivations were so relatable, and his character was so understandable.
I can definitely agree.
Yeah.
We didn't, outside of that, we got Kuvira, but we didn't, I mean, even Amon. Like, even Amon, I feel, was a good villain, because you can understand that as well. Oh, the people that live in a world full of benders that can't bend, they are at the mercy of the benders.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's actual oppression. Like, oh, if you don't bend, you're fucked.
There's only one problem with that. Like, it's a good concept, but like it's not executed well. Because I don't believe we ever see any oppression against non-benders throughout that whole.
Well, the oppression that it was implied oppression. More so, it was done through background characters. For example, like through the flashback of them chasing down Yukon, and just through the police force apprehending people. Like, if you're not a bender, if you're like I think the best example is they were talking about, like, business owner, and you're not a bender, you're at the mercy of any bender that throws a fit. Like, if there's a fire bender and he decides to burn down your shop, you don't have any way to defend your shop. Same thing with your home. And again, this all tied, like, they tied all this back into the Fire Nation, because it was a very easy scapegoat to have because of everything the Fire Nation did. But I understand that. Like, fuck, dude. Imagine that, man. Imagine being a shop owner. You put everything into it, and then Earthbender's like, nah, fuck your shop. And actually folds your shit up. Like, not even like pretend. He actually folds your shop in half.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything.
More of that, though.
Yeah.
Man,
showing that we would have felt it.
Yeah, I agree. But okay, before I get into the things that I don't think I was really want to talk about, but I'm just gonna mention, I hate the fact that they just killed Sokka off. Like, man, they could have showed something, man. Sokka, he was learning how to fight. He was finally becoming, like, I don't know, man. He was such a goofy character at first, and I still liked him, but it seemed like they were actually starting to.
Yeah, it seems like he was coming of age.
Yeah,
and we were witnessing it.
Yes, and even his sword was cool, dude. He had a really cool sword
made out of meteorite, bro. Yeah,
and they just and when Korra starts, we just find out, oh, Sokka died in the past. The end. Really?
No reason for that. They had Zuko, they had Katara, they had Toph. Like, and you understand, you gotta kill him for the next bender. But like, why they gotta kill Sokka?
Right, dude. Even if you kill him, just show us something. Like, tell us something, not just like he's dead. Like that I hated that. But one of the things I really disliked about Korra, the series of Korra, is the fact that I understand that you have to show progression in bending, but some of the most ridiculous bending that we saw in the Aang series, like the when Toph started metal bending, and did we? I don't think we saw lava bending and
No, we didn't.
so I liked seeing that, but now it's like it's like there were a bunch of metal benders now, and there was a bunch of like it's hard to explain because
It wasn't special anymore.
Yeah, it didn't feel
I
special
agree.
anymore.
Yeah.
Then with lightning bending,
Lightning bending too. Yes, that's
Bruh.
another one.
people just do it casually. Like, what?
Yes, I'm just like, bruh, it didn't feel. It didn't feel like it
Felt
was
watered
something-
down.
No,
Yeah,
no.
it didn't
I
feel like you had to
definitely
earn-
get that because remember, Iroh was like, lightning bending is incredibly rare because the person that uses it has to have a clear mind and steady focus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
Only
and
a
it
few people could use it.
exemplified
Yeah.
Azula to a T. That's another reason why it was super. I got it.
Lula was a
because-
good character too, man.
Yeah.
Like that character. I know she went crazy, but she's a cool, crazy character.
Dude, she's probably
She was
crazy
supposed
in
to have
the
a
sack too, though.
redemption. 5.
Just saying, man.
Oh yeah, I do.
She was a good
remember seeing
character.
Something about that. But yeah, those are the two things I really liked about the core series. I'm like, man, come on, man, y'all gotta do my boy Sokka better, and the bending, it didn't feel special. So, I mean, when Toph did metal bending for the first time,
Yeah.
oh my god, dude, it was just so amazing. Toph is still one of the top characters in the series, dude. Like, it's so many. It had a lot of good characters. in
Yeah.
every
We can't. I think it's disrespectful if we talk about Avatar and we don't talk about Iroh. Like he has so many just good moments. Like
Absolutely.
to me,
He
he
carried-
kept the
he
show.
Perfect.
Yes, he helped carry the show.
Yeah, he kept the show grounded, and dude, it's one of the few shows that you can actually walk away from the show and be like, I learned something today, and it's making me a better person.
Well, see,
like he's
that's the
that
thing.
good of a character, dude. He's
Well,
that
see,
good
that's
of
the
a
thing. I know
character.
y'all
When
may
he
not
was in
remember
prison
this.
working out. Oh my god.
I know y'all may not remember this, but Saturday morning cartoons, a lot of them, like you had two basic kinds. You had your slapstick comedy, and then you had your more mature
Motivational.
Yeah, because like I mean,
Yeah.
think about all the ones that all the cartoon people just keep like, oh man, this was like one of the best of the era. Like Batman the animated series, Spider-Man the animated series, X-Men the animated series.
Captain Planet.
I don't know about Captain Planet. I don't know about Captain Planet.
You lost me, kid.
But those three in
You
particular,
lost me, kid.
Captain Planet. With our powers combined.
No.
like those three in particular, people took stuff away from it. Like with great
Yeah.
power comes great responsibility. That it seems cliched now, but at the time I had never heard that, and I'm like, man, yeah.
Me either. I've never heard of that either.
What?
Before that, I've never.
Oh, I was
I've
gonna
never
say.
heard that. You know,
I was gonna
before Spider-Man, I never heard that saying.
And then
That's
like
the first time I've heard that.
yeah, then with Batman, you actually got to see shit. Like, I mean, my first exposure to real domestic abuse was watching Joker punch Harley Quinn out of a fucking window because she fixed his joke. I was
Hey,
like, bruh. That
Bro, I don't know. I don't
Hey,
know how
Joker was
recently
great.
y'all have seen the Batman animated series, but up until like I want to say season 4, season 1 through 4, they used real gun sounds.
yeah,
They were holding real guns. Like later on in the series, they switched it over to lasers and pew pew pew. But no, like early in the series, they were using real
yeah,
gun
they
sounds.
were holding real
dude.
guns. The
Yes.
reason they switched over is because of a parents' advocacy group that was like, children are too young to see this, and that's why they switched it to lasers, and why you don't see Batman actually like take down anybody. It's all done off screen. But yeah, the early seasons before they paid attention to him. Yeah, bruh. Like the police gun people down.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
police gun people
definitely.
down.
And I'm telling you, like, if you actually go back and watch the series, you will appreciate the music in Batman the Animated Series, dude, because it actually has an orchestra. Oh
Yeah.
my god, it sounds so beautiful, dude, so beautiful, bro.
That is
I
why
can't
it's still
stress that
revered to
enough.
this day. That's why it's still revered to this day. And
Yeah,
the animation style, because the reason it's so dark, because well, they wanted to encapsulate the actual Dark Knight, and what they would do is what you call it? They started with a black background. The paper that they drew on was black,
mm,
and then they would take cells, different color cells, and layer that on top of the black background. So that's why those blacks are really black, because well, that's the base of the paper,
yeah,
and that was meant to really show the grittiness and how and the and accentuate the noir style that they really were going for with that particular
I need to go
series.
back and watch that series now.
Yeah, man. Dude, I
So
own
good.
physical copies of that because I
It's
revere
so
it so
good.
much. But that ties well, but that to get back what we were talking about. But see,
Yeah.
that's something that taught you something, like even indirectly. Like you didn't learn it, like even if you didn't learn like crazy lessons from it, you still like learn to appreciate the art style that was involved, and you're like, oh man, this is so wild. And then X-Men X-Men taught me more about prejudice and racism than
Yep,
any book ever did.
yep.
Like actually watching these people, like, and it's art imitating life. I remember distinctly there's this dude on there, and I don't know if they modeled this character after him, but he looks like Kenneth Copeland, that TV evangelist. He looks like young Kenneth Copeland with glasses on. But he would be on television preaching hatred against all mutants, and how they're
Yeah.
not human, and how they don't deserve to have rights, and how they all need to be rounded up and exterminated. And I'm like, fuck. Even as a kid, I was like, that fuck, dude. But now
Yeah.
as an adult, I'm like, dude, this is real ass hate, dude. This is real. The government is passing legislation to make it fucking feel like it's illegal to be a mutant. I'm like, that's real ass hate that I got to see as a kid. And it made me in turn really be wary of like treating people like that.
Yeah, and like in the earlier comic books, they like as far as X-Men has been established, they've always been this way.
Yeah.
Like it's always been that way.
To his credit, Stan Lee, and by extension Jack Kirby, I will always mention Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in the same sentence because I feel they're synonymous with each other, even though Jack Kirby doesn't get nearly as much credit as he deserves.
I know. Oh my god.
Those two, particularly with, and everybody knows this, Magneto was modeled after Malcolm X, and Charles Xavier was modeled after Martin Luther King. But
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's why. That's why they're such good friends. Because man, if you want to listen to some shit that'll actually fuck with your head, listen to Malcolm X. Like, bruh, I want to paraphrase this correctly. Well, I want to phrase this correctly because I am not endorsing anything of this nature. I'm just saying I completely understand the reasoning of why he was on an FBI watch list and why they ultimately assassinated him, because the words that man spoke made people motherfucking move. He could put violence so eloquently that you didn't know he was telling you to go to violence. But then he could also, in the same speech, make you upset at everything you thought was reasonable in your life. Like, just like when you hear Magneto speak, like And they tried to capture that spirit in his speeches, in the way he presented himself. Like, why as a higher life form should we bow to this lower life form? We are Homo superior, and they are still Homo sapiens. Well, we are we are the next step of evolution, but yet we are subjugated and we play nice with them. Malcolm X in turn would say something along the lines of like, these people fear us because they see what we are. We are naturally we are stronger. They try to tell us that we are not as intelligent, but we are just as, or even more, because that is the nature of a human being. But they want us to believe that we are less than human, so they treat us less than human, and we accept it because we believe that now we are less than human. When in all actuality, we could be so much more than human. And I'm like, man, that just applies in my mind. I'm like, that applies to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But it especially hits home because during this time, specifically he was talking about black people and other minorities, that they want us to feel less than human. They treat us less than human. But at the same time, we allow them to treat us as less than human. And the only way they'll listen is when we fight back. And I'm like, man. And then there's a couple speeches where he goes into talking about Martin Luther King and he says some things that I then researched, and I'm like, fuck, bruh. Now I'm not gonna get into that because that's super controversial, because it involves like payoffs and bribes and some other shit. Yeah, it's wild.
Conspiracy or?
No, it's not even conspiracy, because conspiracies can't be proven. This stuff can be proven because it was a paper trail.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like, you can't call it. You can only call it a conspiracy when it makes enough sense that it could happen, but you don't have any evidence or a lot of substantial evidence to prove it did happen. Where this is, you can see the foundations. Some of those foundations still exist to this day. And if you trace the history back, you can see where it started, who it started with, and it coincides with what he's saying. And I'm like, fuck, dude. But yeah, if you want to get radicalized, Malcolm X is the one, because yeah, bro.
But speaking about mutants and the and what we got to see back then in the X-Men cartoon series, that's what kind of, I'm a fan of the MCU, and that's what kind of scares me about what they're gonna do when they introduce mutants to the MCU, because I don't feel like we're gonna get any of that. I don't feel like when they introduce all these characters, I'm just wondering how are you gonna introduce these characters and make it feel like they're actual X-Men living, the same things that they felt back then that we know them for, but I maybe the new generation of people, this newer generation of people, don't really know about the old X-Men cartoon.
Of course
so
not.
They probably won't be, too upset that it doesn't really follow its roots, and they're just gonna go out and go, just present it as they want to.
Like,
but
bro,
personally, I want to see an X-Men brought into the series like they're supposed to be. I want to see the hate that people have for mutants because they're scared. Like, I don't want to defend the humans that were blatantly racist to the mutants, the humans, the regular humans that were blatantly racist to the mutants. But there were some dangerous mutants out there, and some people had a legit reason to hate mutants because some mutants were just dangerous and crazy for no reason. And I'm not saying that's a reason to hate all mutants, but they had a reason to hate certain mutants. And I want to see that. I want to see the hardship that mutants had to go through in the actual MCU, and I don't think we're going to get that.
No, of course not. So I can tie that back into you remember the cartoon X-Men Evolution?
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, they put them in college. Yeah, they put them in college because they didn't want to they didn't want to hit those issues. Like if you look at the original, bruh, they like every episode they got hunted down by sentinels, bruh.
Yep.
Automatons.
Man,
sole
that was
purpose
so. Oh my
were
god!
to capture or kill, and they were in
Man,
every episode.
We're not gonna see no Sentinels, bro. I
Oh,
remember in
fuck
the
that.
X-Men movies, the old Fox movies, we got to see Sentinels in training. That Wolverine and them were training in the training room, training against Sentinels.
Yeah,
That's it.
They explained it away in the actual movie as the Sentinel program just starting, but not ready to go.
Tragic.
Like,
Yeah.
if you remember Peter Dinklage's character, he, like, everything that happened to him with Mystique and everything, like, you know how she, like, I think she didn't kidnap him. She almost killed him. And that's why they used that to explain why he started the Sentinel program, because he had almost been killed by a mutant.
Yeah, I do remember that. And it's like I don't know, man. That's what made Magneto and Professor X so important in the series. And now if you just introduce those characters in the MCU and you just plop them in, like, how are you going to explain that away? How are you going to make those characters important if they don't have to tackle those issues?
You got me, brother.
They won't be able
The
to.
problem is that the world is too big. Like, where are the X-Men? Like, how come they haven't been in yet? You're gonna have to find a way to explain that. Then you're gonna have to find a way to explain why the mutants are only in one area and why only some people know about them, because they haven't been mentioned yet. Just like too much to do. Because the original comics, they weren't all originally like an extended universe, right?
Right.
So like that's one of the problems that MCU runs into by trying to be so big. You got to introduce so many things.
And I know that these next few movies are going to be the multiverse movies, but are you really going to be able to explain all of these things that we're talking about? I don't think so. I just think it's going to be new narratives for these mutants, and I don't know how you're going to plot Professor X and Magneto in the middle of the MCU without them not being somewhat involved in what's been going on.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? Like, I just, and I've been saying this for a long time. I've been saying this since, I say, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. I'm subscribed to somebody on YouTube, and I left a comment a long time ago. I don't know how they're going to do it. I still, to this day, don't know how they're going to do it. And I don't think it's going to be good if they try to. Like, just pop them in there.
The only thing I could imagine them doing is explaining it away by the events of Asteroid M. Because there was a huge battle at Asteroid M, which was an asteroid Magneto pulled into the Earth's orbit that was meant to be a sanctuary for mutants. And since it was in space and there was some shenanigans going on, the X-Men had to go up and like stop Asteroid M. That's the only thing I can imagine that they do to explain why they haven't been anywhere.
Also, I don't mean to cut you off, Ulu, but there's gonna be a series, and that it could have something to do with the future events of mutants, and that's Scarlet Witch and
Oh, you talking about WandaVision?
Yeah, WandaVision.
Oh,
So
never mind. There you go. I forgot about Wanda. There you go. That's it. That's it right there. It's done. It's done. Like, Scarlet Witch, I hate her as a character because they use her abilities to explain away so much stuff. So they can literally just say like, oh, Scarlet Witch used her abilities that can alter reality to hide mutant kind.
That's a cop out, dude.
It is a
I
cop out.
swear.
It is a cop out, but it's
That's why I'm not a.
It
I'll
works.
hold my tongue.
It works. Because like, no man, go ahead.
I didn't have nothing to say. I was just gonna say, yeah, that's definitely a cop out, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
What
I mean,
Marvel
that's just one way they can
Yo.
explain it away.
That just reminded me. I want to tell y'all I'm not sure if I told everybody already. 'Cause I feel like I talk about it a lot.
Why
but
are you sick? What did you do to get sick? There you go.
I don't wear
What?
coats.
You sick?
Yes, he's sick.
You said you don't wear coats.
No.
That man's sick. You
Oh
probably
my
can't tell
God.
through his voice, but I can tell through his voice. He's sick.
But pretty much in Boruto.
Oh
Okay,
my
so
God.
y'all know Kishimoto. He's the original author
The
of
greatest writer of all time.
Naruto. Hell the fuck no. But he pretty much have took over Boruto.
I heard that too.
Is that a good thing?
No, it's funny because the literal last chapter, the writer had made it. He did a ass pull or a Deus Ex Machina or whatever you want to call it. He sit here and told us that apparently Kurama always had this form that was so powerful it would kill Naruto.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I don't even want part of this. I want no part of this. Because I know this. My body can only handle so much bullshit. And I know where this is going.
Oh man. So not only
Where
that,
did he say this, dude?
this is literally the last chapter that came out.
It is.
Not only this though, when I tell y'all, I've never seen Sasuke get disrespected so tough. I'm talking about, bro. This Sasuke has been getting stomped in the ground. I'm talking about you got panels with this man foot on Sasuke's face every other panel. Like, dude doesn't even regard Sasuke as a threat at all.
What?
And it's just hilarious that it's like Kishimoto's like, no more.
Wait, he getting done like Vegeta get done.
Bruh. If not worse.
Wow.
If not worse, dude, he treats Sasuke, bro. I don't remember when he got his Susanoo, and he was like, "Is that supposed to be good at defense?" That man just smacked him out of his Susanoo.
Wow, bro.
How is
But
he going
yeah.
to try to fix this?
Well, yeah, that's why I just said he Naruto and his Kurama bullshit talking about some.
Oh.
Well, it's gonna kill you, but if you talking about Kishimoto, I don't know how he's gonna fix this
They got the
because
whole too far.
yeah, it's like this was literally that last chapter when he just came out of nowhere and said, "Well, Naruto, I do have that one thing that no one in this entire series have ever heard about. No Jinchuriki has ever spoke about. No, you could have used this in many of other situations when you were getting outpowered.
Wait,
but this whole
wait a-
one situation,
Wait a second. Wait a motherfucking second. You see these motherfucking plot holes? You see these plot holes here? Like these all these motherfuckers that Kurama was afraid of, these Uchihas that had these Mangekyo Sharingans that could read his motherfucking mind and make him do shit. You telling me Madara of all people wouldn't have known that and wouldn't have
Nope.
used that? I'm done. Fuck all Kishimoto. Fuck this man.
No, Kishimoto. Wait. The Kishimoto.
no,
do
Kishimoto is trying to
Nah,
fix
he
it.
didn't.
Kishimoto,
Oh, he's trying to
just jumped
fix
in
it.
last check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he brought that in. My
No.
bad.
The other dude who's been writing Boruto, because I don't know why Kishimoto. I guess like Toritara and
Dragon Ball.
yeah, I can't think of the other guy's name. Toriyama.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Toritara is writing Dragon Ball Super, which is also pretty bad. But yeah, he's pretty much letting this other guy write Boruto. But it's just funny that after that last chapter, when they was talking about this move that'll kill you but strong enough to make you stronger, he just jumped in immediately and was like, "Nah, you're not finna destroy my series anymore.
Wow.
You're
That
not,
is-
bro. Talking about some alien parasites and all, bro. I'm talking about
What?
this story is just
Wow.
What?
Oh yeah, Akagia and them, they're
The
alien.
Okutsuki,
No, we're
they're
done.
alien
Yeah.
parasites.
Yeah.
We're done. Nope.
Whoa.
They just
Nope.
need to work on the story.
They just rolled and smoked that series, boys.
Wow. They're
It was like
aliens.
it just
Nah.
kept-
F this whole thing that kept everything. I wasn't a fan of Kaguya or her offspring.
I don't know, bro. That's all that series is about.
But
But
at
apparently they're
least-
like,
Now go ahead, brother.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of what people compared them to. They said they're pretty much just software, where they just gotta like get a new body. Like I'm not even getting the details of how the thing works. But
Kaguya in itself, her whole entire species is basically a to be continued. That's all that is. She's to be continued. She literally continues the Boruto series. If Kaguya wasn't there, I mean, you could have a Boruto series and it'd probably be a lot more interesting than it is now. But she was the to be. There was no reason for her after Madara. Madara should have been the end all be all.
No, you right.
I kind of disagree with that.
What, that Madara shouldn't have been the main villain and that the series should have ended after his fight?
I like Madara. I used to think that Madara should have been the final villain, but then someone made a good point and said like the story couldn't end like the Uchiha with the Uchiha as the main bad guy because it's about the Senju Uchiha coming together. It would make sense that someone who came before the Senju Uchiha would be the final villain. Then those two bloodlines would team up together to defeat that person.
I mean, you still could accomplish that with Sasuke and Naruto coming together and just like ending the hatred.
It'd be kind of weird because like they're fighting they're fighting like the previous reincarnation of Sasuke.
Yeah, like I dig that. Like I understand where you're coming from, because I've thought about this and I'm more in the camp of, if they would have ended it with Madara being the villain when we actually find out that everything has been orchestrated by Madara from behind the scenes. That Sasuke's
I don't
whole
like Kaguya or Zetsu organizing.
Yeah, like
that was terrible.
I don't like how suddenly they appear. Like if they were gonna appear, it should have been foreshadowed, and they should have got rid of the Zetsu manipulating. It's like, come on.
They shouldn't even put that in there.
Finding Madara's character by doing that.
It was just such a. I just feel like
that
the introduction of Kaguya ruined the ending of the ending of the war, and the Nard. It
ruined the build up, because everyone that I've ever talked to agrees that they built up Madara to be the end all be all, and then we get Madara and he's everything we expect him to be, except he's not the last boss.
Yeah,
that was really deflating. Yeah, they really didn't defeat him. You're right, they didn't defeat him. Kaguya just absorbed him.
If they defeated him and then Kaguya turned into him, I would have been more okay. But like, Ishimoto just kept giving it power-ups after power-ups and then people say that they could figure out a way to defeat him.
I don't know if they could, bro. I don't honestly. I think that I honestly believe Madara at that point is stronger than Kaguya. Like she had never. The only reason why I say this is because with the power that Madara had and all the battles that he saw, she would not be ready for that. She would not know she would not know what's coming. Like she knows different little bitty, not little bitty, but different jutsus. They're strong, but I don't think she's seen some of the things Madara can do. And like, I just believe at that point Madara would have been able to defeat her. She was changing. She was able to warp you to different realities,
dimensions.
Yeah, dimensions, and the dimensions had different properties. And I admit that's a very powerful ability. But I also don't think that it's an ability that's so devastating that you can't get around it. Like I didn't.
Ability was the bone.
Yeah, that's probably one of her most powerful abilities. And I
think
just
Limbo honestly could have gotten around that as well.
Yeah, Madara was just so ridiculous at that point. The things that we've seen him do, take down. Granted he was still undead at that point, but he destroyed all the Kages without even. It was such a massacre. It wasn't even a fight. You know what I'm saying? It was the things we saw him do in the war was just outrageous. And then we just get Kaguya, and all she's able to do is transport you to different dimensions, and she has a technique where she can shoot bones at you. And
Nah, she had that Truth Seeker orb, the one that she was gonna make so big that nobody could avoid. Everybody, they had to sell her.
Okay.
You want to know
I don't
something?
remember that. I don't remember that ability, but that sounds like that does sound like an insane ability. I'm not
You want to
gonna
know
know
something that I think we should actually talk about for a new for the next topic that is relevant to this. How could they have actually integrated Kaguya to have her make sense? Because if they did something kind of like I was just thinking about listening, like while y'all were talking, thinking about this, like since her whole thing was all chakra stems from her and she knows all ninjutsu, and for me it would have been actually really cool. I would have been a lot more lenient against for Kaguya if she started doing jutsus from notable characters that we've seen in Naruto throughout the fight. Like if she would have started doing crystal ice mirrors,
That would be dope.
I would have been like, oh shit.
Is
Okay.
she though? Because I mean, it's a Kekkei Genkai, and only like a certain bloodline can.
Yeah, well, I
Using
think the idea is
But I mean, if
like,
all jutsus flow through
came
her,
from her,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, like using
Okay.
chakra, the Kekkei Genkai is how it is how they use it. Like for example, the bone splinters. That's a Kekkei Genkai,
Mhm.
but she could still.
Is it a Kekemura?
What's up?
I thought it was like some other extras, like a Kekemura. Yeah. I
No,
don't
she-
know. They're doing
No, it's a Kekkei Genkai because Kimimaru. Is it Kimimaru?
No,
That's
her
the
curse
bar.
is different from Kimimaro. It's similar, but it's different.
But I'm like,
For some reason, all of her techniques are identified as Kekemura.
but he's from her same. Like he has traits from her. Like he's a later descendant of her,
Oh
right?
yeah, definitely.
And it just it makes sense that she would be the, it would be, that's the reason why he has that ability, is because he's a descendant from her. Like, I don't see how it's what is it, what did you say it was called?
Kekemura.
What's the
I can't
difference?
explain it.
Okay.
I can't explain it. It's just any move that she is classified as a Kekemura.
Pretty much. I mean, the reason I feel like it would work because okay, Kekkei Genkai or the Kekkei Mora. I'm not sure exactly which one that is, but pretty much a Kekkei Genkai is two different chakra natures, and pretty much
Not
just
always.
one. So I can't remember which what's the name? The two Kage, his little particle beam, or whatever you want to call it,
Kekkei
box. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much I think it's fusing three.
3.
Yeah, it's
So-
wind, earth, and I can't remember
Fire.
the last one. Yeah, wind, earth, and fire. There you go.
Yeah. So pretty much, I guess the idea if Kaguya was able to do all the above, she has perfect control over chakra. So it wouldn't be unheard of if she could actually do all of these jutsus because, well, you could just say. First, let me just say I don't like the Kaguya idea at all. I don't think that
Yeah.
should have been ever a thing. If anything, if it was up to me, then when Madara put everybody in the infinite Tsukuyomi,
Yeah.
that should have been her summoning. If you was gonna do something like
Hey, I would that would be pretty insane.
that. And he didn't know, and and it backfired. I would have been
Ooh,
okay.
that
with
would
that.
that would be raw. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, granted, I would have if they made her just an all around cooler character. She's just a character that's
boring.
all. Yes, she's
boring.
just all white, and then they,
yeah,
like they didn't put no kind of detail into, or it didn't feel like, it just feel like a character that you just thought up on the fly.
You
You
want to
know.
know the crazy part? The biggest thing about Madara and Kaguya is Madara had charisma. Like when he was out there,
Yep.
we were like, we can listen to him.
Yep.
He can, just some of the things he said. It's a handicap. Do you want my clones to use Susanna or not? Like the things that man was saying out there, dude,
Yeah.
was insane. Kaguya, like name your favorite Kaguya voice line. Exactly. It's like, it's like, dude. What? In fact, she didn't even talk. Zetsu did all the talking. Now, I don't know who a big fan of Zetsu, but he was just explaining.
He was one of the biggest let down characters. I remember when I first seen him as a little plant creature with the little, when you got to see the when you rarely got to see all the Katsuki together, or you even saw Zetsu by itself, as both his forms together. He was a cool looking character. He had that little plant head or whatever.
I disagree, but
Well, okay, personally, I was curious. I'm not gonna say he was cool. I'm not gonna say
no, he looked cool.
No, I think he looked cool. Half black, half white.
Me too.
But I was curious. I was legit curious. I'm like, man, he can kind of sense. He can sense everything. He can listen. He has the ability to like listen to whatever's going on with using any plants or whatever.
He should have been extremely broken.
Yes, he
should
sounds
have been extremely broken.
He sounds like an interesting character, and it's just such a letdown.
Yeah,
he
was
one of the biggest letdown characters in Naruto, and I thought it was going to be an interesting character.
No, I dig it because when I saw him in that big like Phoenix flytrap type plant apparatus, I thought, and then when we saw that he could attach the black portion to him, or he could attach either portion of himself to a person, I thought that's how he gained abilities, was he would actually absorb people like a Venus flytrap. He would like absorb them and eat them, and then take their essence and their chakra nature and be able to use their jutsus freely.
Yeah,
that's what I thought he could do.
Oh my god, they would have to kill him off immediately.
Because I mean, like, he's in the Akatsuki,
go.
and everybody in the Akatsuki is broken in some kind of way.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, that's how he's broken. That's why we don't see him fight, because as they progressed, we got more and more broken abilities and more broken members. And I'm like, okay, like even Conan at the end, like,
oh yeah, I like Conan.
We saw her for such a short amount of time, but those paper bombs,
man,
I was like, bro, she was like, oh yeah, I prepared enough to explode for, it was like 5 minutes straight or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Dude, she was one of the cooler female characters in my opinion.
Yeah.
Naruto. Like, I mean, granted she was
way better than Sakura.
Yes.
Sakura's trash.
You can kind of say, I mean, there's things you could say about her. She didn't have the most charisma. She didn't really, have her own. She was a follower, but she was a cool ninja. Like, she had cool abilities, and I feel like they were a lot better than Sakura. Sakura was definitely a follower. She was not a leader in the beginning. She was a follower. Like, now
her best fight, she didn't even control her own body.
That's true. That's definitely true.
I've debated that fight so many times. They hate when I like point out how many times she would have died, and the fact that they're like, well, she's able to dodge, and I'm like, even after she acknowledged that, yeah, I can dodge. He just did a big enough attack when he made the black sand turn into a lot of blades and just come down. And she barely survived that. And if she didn't have the antidote, she would have died there and then. So I'm like, even with her dodging ability, he just said, okay, well, I'm gonna have to put a little effort into this, and still pretty much was gonna kill her again. They got so many excuses. It's so many excuses.
It's just funny. It's funny because I feel like the whole Conan and her squad could have been a better Naruto and Naruto squad. Like,
they were, except one of them died.
Yep, and that it kind of explains why Conan, her attitude completely changed after that. After Nagato died, and was it Nagato? It wasn't Nagato. It was the other Yuki. Yahiko. Yeah, you're right. Yahiko. And after he died, she completely changed. She got, her. I guess the person that she loved died. So I mean, it's kind of understandable how her attitude completely changed after that. But yeah, it's just funny. They could have been a better Naruto squad.
Well, Jiraiya did train them first.
Yep. The only thing about Yahiko, he didn't have the gift of the nine-tailed fox. If he would have had that, maybe, who knows?
I would actually really like to see him fight, because the only really exposure we get to him is in flashbacks, and then Nagato using his body as the main version of Pain. Because I don't know if any of y'all know what his actual like jutsus and abilities were.
Yeah, water.
Oh, really? Water? That's it.
Yeah.
That's definitely interesting.
Does anybody know what Sakura's chakra nature was?
Water and earth. But
You said what?
Never. It was only in the data books. It was water and earth in the data books.
Oh, I thought it was garbage because he's a garbage player.
Water and earth? That's tragic.
And if I'm not mistaken,
You can make mud monsters.
you're supposed to be able to make trees.
You're supposed to
Water
do
and earth.
anything. You ain't.
You're supposed to be a senju.
You can make mud
That's
monsters.
sad.
Yeah, man. I mean, that can be. Nah, you really can't.
Do you think
Water and earth.
Sakura's
But,
character would have been better if they made her a secret senju?
Well, I mean, to make her character better, it's actually easy. All they had to do was make her involved in fights in the beginning.
I would say
But
change her
all-
personality.
Thank you. That's what bothered me.
Completely
The most
change her
about-
personality.
I know she sucked, but in the battle she was not useful. But I would give her leeway if she wasn't so freaking annoying. Sasuke was right; she was annoying.
Hold on. What about Karin?
I don't
See-
have a problem with Karen.
Yeah,
Do you think she's annoying?
I don't, because I didn't care for the series. I didn't care for
Okay.
he just doesn't know how to make female characters like at all. Like to me, like appealing to me, dude. Like
For me,
I don't know.
I was real.
Tamara. Oh,
Yeah,
Tamara
Tamara
was
was great.
great. Tamara was good.
Tamara-
Tamara was
Tamara
good.
was good.
Tamara was good.
But
But I mean,
But that-
judge her compared to the rest of the female characters.
I was gonna say I cross-examine her with 10-10.
10 is garbage. 10 is garbage. Sakura's garbage. Like
the thing about Corinne is she was kind of annoying, but at least we knew what she was there for. Like at that point.
Slave.
Yeah, well, no. Your simpness, you gotta calm
That's
down.
No, she
No,
was gonna
but-
be a blood slave.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Blood healing slave. Yeah. Pretty much. Like Sasuke used it as a healing battle.
Yeah.
That's why he let her tag along. Like and the reason why I didn't get bugged when she hit Zetsu is because Zetsu didn't really care. In my opinion, Zetsu had kind of a crush on Kareem. Like and that's how it kind of seemed to me. Like he didn't like, and I don't know if y'all got that inkling, maybe not, but whatever.
Are you talking about Suigetsu?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Suigetsu. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Suigetsu. And the reason why I didn't mind when she hit Suigetsu is because he didn't go flying. He literally was water. Like you just hit him in the head, he regenerate, and he cool. He just like whatever. It doesn't really do anything to me, but okay.
The difference is
Naruto.
that-
You said what?
No, you could finish. I was just gonna say the difference is that kind of sometimes we get to kind of like this is the problem. Like he's the one that's like edging her on and like
Yes.
the word antagonizing her.
Yes,
Like,
he
both
is.
of them are antagonizing each other.
Yes.
Kind of just, but like Naruto's not doing.
Right. Man, you hit on a really huge point right there. That's exactly right. You're 100% right there. And Naruto, he's doing things that you can find annoying. And yeah, the what was it, the sexy jutsu? That was really, it was really no point in that, but whatever.
Hey,
But
hey,
you're not really, why are you hitting him? Like you don't like there's no reason for you to do it. He's not doing that for you. You just hitting him for no reason because he's just butting in.
I will
like-
defend sexy no jutsu till the day I die.
Or
Nah.
Kaguya.
Boom.
That's one of my reasons why Kaguya would not be. Nah, I'm not gonna say Madara's gonna do sexy jutsu, but she wouldn't. She didn't. What? Like she never expected that. She don't know what to do against something like that. Like, and she got beat. Like it helped her get defeated. But anyways, I'm veering off subject. But yeah, that's why I didn't mind Corinne as much. I like the relationship she had with Suigetsu. So whenever she hit. Yeah, and whenever she hit him, it didn't bother me as much. And okay, yeah, she was in love with Sasuke, but I mean, the whole entire cast of Naruto was in love with Sasuke.
If you had a vagina and you were, if you had a vagina and were under the age of 20, you wanted Sasuke.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't know how to make a good, strong. Like he doesn't know how to make a good female character, dude. Like
I don't know. I'd say half of them were good and half of them were like meh.
I would say
like,
more than that.
Tsunade was good.
I know Tsunade was not good.
Tsunade was not good. I'm sorry, you baby. Right
there was a strong case for Tsunade.
Oh my God, let's hear it.
She was on the top of the trash heap. Like that is the best I will give you, dude. Like Tamari was the best. I'm not disputing that, but like Ino, you think she good?
Yes.
I like Ino. I like Ino because
bro, she was Captain Ginyu.
The only reason why is because of her bloodline, and I like the whole history of their whole family and what they're
I'm talking about her as a character.
I mean, she's fine. Her chemistry with the Ino Shikacho is like some of the best.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, everybody's in love with Sasuke. Outside of that, I liked her camaraderie with her friend, with her group, with her. I didn't mind it.
I couldn't stand her as a character because she was just like Sakura.
But she was more useful than Sakura. Like she
was more useful. Her personality was just like Sakura.
Yeah, I mean,
she was a lot more sassy.
She was a lot more sassy.
She was more of a leader. Because like she was leading them in the tuning. It's like the Shikamaru just didn't want to do anything, and Choji was like scared of her. He was the one kind of pulling them, saying, "Let's help Sakura. Let's do this."
I will say, I will agree with that. In the beginning, Shikamaru didn't want to do nothing. If Ino was pulling them, she was like, "Come on, Shikamaru, man, you better than this. What are you doing?" It was moments like that. If I will say, she did help push Shikamaru, but I will say she kind of did remind me of Sakura a lot. I don't know about being like, I guess you could say she was a bit more sassier, but they were definitely two sides of the same coin. And but I will say the major difference is the fact that she was so useful, and the creator actually gave her abilities that she could use. Like her family had ties back, in other wars, and like her family was an integral part in the actual, war. I'm not gonna say the story.
Definitely.
I'm not gonna say the whole story, but her family's known throughout the whole history of Naruto or whatever. But Sakura, her family, her bloodline sucks. Like she has no, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what.
When I would see both of those characters, I would just see the same character. Like when Naruto was first a thing, like to me they were just like the same character.
I can understand that if you don't dive deeply into,
Well, at the beginning of the show, that's kind of how they did. They just pit them both as the same adolescent girl that had a crush on the dark brooding hero, which was Sasuke. Yep. They were the same character at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then, as Shippuden went on, and they put Ino on the back burner and forgot Sakura was a character. When they finally,
that's probably a good thing.
They finally reemerged.
But I will say there's a handful of female characters that I do think, that are good female, characters in Naruto, but it's only a handful. I don't think there's a large number. Yes, she's definitely one of them. I do like Tamari. I think that she's was a good character.
Yeah.
I like Conan. I think she was a good character.
Yeah.
What was the name of the one in South 4?
Orochimaru.
No. No.
Oh my god! I forgot he did pose as a woman, didn't he? Oh, when he fought Sasuke in the forest. Oh man, Jesus, dude.
I thought Toyuya was an entertaining character. Like she didn't.
Who'd you say?
Toyuya, the flute. That played the
Oh
flute
yeah, yes. I agree. She
Baby
definitely,
kinda love me.
but she had to die though, sadly. But she
I thought
definitely was an
Shizune
interesting.
had potential.
Yeah, Shizune did, but man, she
She didn't get enough screen time to do anything.
That's true. That's true. They like she was supposed to be a princess or something like, but they just
Yeah, she
end up
was.
making her a slave pretty much. No, but oh yeah, the lady Kage, the lady
Which
Kage,
May.
Oh, the Misukage?
May, yeah.
Yeah, May.
Mizukage. I didn't think she was. I thought she was okay. Like everyone that came to the Five Kage Summit, like had a nice personality and like
Mhm.
enough quirks that you
Yeah.
recognize them.
definitely.
I also think what's her name? The one that married Choji.
Oh, the black chick.
Kamo.
Yes, yeah,
Starts
I
with
agree.
K. Karui, my bad. I thought she was entertaining. I like the way she very.
How do you feel about their
angry.
offspring?
Ooh.
No, I don't really like anyone. Any of the new characters in Naruto. I think they're all like a clone of their parents or like the opposite of their parents. I feel like that's lazy.
Yeah,
She's like, oh yeah, I know I'm fat. I'm like, come on, is that the best you got?
Why,
Yes.
why they had to make a black like that? In fact,
Bruh.
they eat too much soul, dog.
There's a lot of
Oh,
female
man.
characters in Naruto fat.
But
She's
I was
sassy.
gonna say, dude, Anko was probably one of the characters that had the most potential
Yep.
as being interesting.
Wait,
And
who?
they completely
Uncle.
forgot
Yep,
about
they
her.
And they
Fumbled
threw
that.
away. They threw
They
her away.
fumbled that dude. Oh my
Eat
god.
them hotcakes.
Like she had
Body
a
built
curse
by
mark.
Taco Bell.
Bruh.
Jesus.
She was,
Bruh. Yeah. Thank you for bringing her up because I thought she was going to be way more important than she was.
Man.
Me too.
Man.
Wait, why?
Because,
She had
at the time,
Orochimaru.
or at the time, Orochimaru had just gotten introduced. I won't say just got introduced. We were learning more about Orochimaru. She had the curse mark. She was a special Jonin, which at the time we didn't know.
Oh, my bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
We should have seen the fight between her and Kabuto. I feel like that alone would
That
have
would have been great.
Yeah, definitely.
But because like in shonen, you just need one good fight with like a good backstory to make a character likable. You can look at Lee, you can look at Neji,
Fucking Lee.
Choji. Like it's just
Yes.
one fight that can, to
Definitely.
make that character likable, and that's what Anko needed. They set it up. They could have shown her backstory in that fight against Kabuto, made her fight hard and lose, but they just skipped over it. I feel like
Yep,
Kishimoto should have taken a break before that war and planned out stuff.
Yeah.
definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Because everyone taking hiatus, and like I don't think he ever took one.
I don't think he did either. And the thing about it is, in during the Shippuden series, and specifically the war art, there was a lot of fights that they just whiffed on or didn't show at all, and
That's
it,
true.
it was all, it was badly done. When you were right, he should have took a break and planned things out. It would have been much better than what he
Showed the fights.
Definitely. But
It's funny because One Piece doing that bad big time right now. They keep
I
whiffing
heard
fights
that.
every
They
2
skipping.
seconds. They didn't even show when the admirals fought each other. Akoji and freaks Kano, I think his name is. Apparently they had a fight and they didn't even show that. It's all kind of like Gold Rogers and Whitebeard had a fight and they didn't show that.
wow.
Yeah,
It
okay,
was
see.
Phoenix, right? Marco.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Blackbeard and Marco, they had a whole appearance
That-
like
See,
war.
I don't
Like,
watch
okay.
One Piece, but I know about Whitebeard and Blackbeard. I know that they're very important characters, and
Bruh.
like I know that people would want to see those fights.
I bought a figure of Whitebeard. for my girlfriend. That is the only character in all of One Piece I am mad that I can't see a fight of. Whitebeard is huge. He is no. He is huge. Like I can't stress how big. Like, okay, think about Luffy. This is the best way I can kind of put it. He's about 3 times the size of Luffy. Like, he is incredibly muscular, incredibly tall. He carries a halberd, and apparently he's a force for good. And is super strong. I think he died fighting Blackbeard.
He died in the war.
He died.
A kind of kill.
I don't think. Well, we don't talk about One Piece. Did I ever tell y'all I don't like Whitebeard?
No, you don't like what?
I don't like Whitebeard.
Oh.
Because he was built up to be so much for us to see him in one war die. And I was like,
he could have done.
Did your mic cut off, or did you just stop?
No,
You just stopped talking.
I was thinking how to say it. Like, with his ability and his power, he should have been able to come to that war by himself and just sink the whole place. Apparently,
What you saying?
he should have had the power to, like.
What are his feats of strength?
What is it called? He had the tremor fruit, so pretty much he can
Cause earthquakes?
Yeah. And they say it's even enough to, like, shake the world or stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, you can shake the world.
That's pretty ridiculous.
You should have been able to just come to this headquarters and just sink them immediately. Secondly, I think it was him who fought Gold Rogers. I can't remember exactly. And as of right now, I don't know the exact person, but they had like a katana. And it's the only katana who can take on Kaido or hurt Kaido.
Odin? Is that his name?
Yes, Odin, yeah. So it's like you got all this build up, but your whole character was pretty much just, I wanted a family, and
You saying it was a letdown?
he didn't do anything. Like, he kept cracking air, I guess, knocking people around, but it's just like at the end of the day, you just got shot up and ultimately defeated. In fact, you hit the guy who killed Ace head on in his face, and the dude didn't die, but you did in the end. It's just like, dude, like, were you holding back? Like, what was that all about? Like, what was it? Just so much. It's just, I don't know. He didn't do anything. Him or Ace. I was just like, man, this.
Oh yeah, I hate Ace.
I know everybody likes Marineford, and it has some. I don't care for it too much because the payoff just wasn't. I guess it's emotional because, you know, Luffy lost his brother, but I don't care for his brother. I don't care for Whitebeard. I didn't care. In fact, it felt like more so you just threw it all in my face because you did all of this just for him to cop out because of your dad, it sucks. They're like, you threw everything away because somebody said something about Whitebeard. So you threw your life away, which ultimately made Whitebeard throw his life away. So in the end, this was all for nothing. And after the post time skip, I've not been as big of a fan of One Piece at all.
Wow. It fell off after.
Because
I don't blame you at all, man. It was you just basically said it was a letdown.
Dude, the crazy part about it, right before this, and this is where my decrease in my interest started happening. And it's crazy because it was one of the best moments in One Piece. And it was when they were on that island and fought Kuma, and Kuma separated the entire crew. That was such an emotional part. It was like, wow, that's crazy. All because of what? Luffy always getting into his emotions and doing whatever he thinks is right, which isn't a bad thing, but it cost him everything. But when Luffy got separated and was going on his own adventures by himself, I did not care. I was just like, man, I really want this crew to get back together. I'm okay with Luffy, but really, it's the crew that made me like this series.
It's crazy because personally, if that, to me, that would be one of the things I would want to see if I did watch the series. If the crew was always together, and they all of a sudden got separated, that would be one of the things I would want to see how their individual journeys went. But I know One Piece just does things so horribly sometimes.
It all focused on Luffy. You got like snippets of the other people's adventure, but it was literally just Luffy adventures. And it's crazy because it made me think, I was like, man, it's crazy. I wouldn't like this series if it was just about Luffy only. Like the crew really makes that series for me.
Yeah.
Without Zoro, Luffy's just not that interesting.
Yeah. At all.
I can't watch an entire arc about Luffy without Zoro there.
Yeah. It was. So even when they came back, it was just like,
This is. I'm sorry.
nah. It's just like the only reason I feel this way because like One Piece was the first manga I ever had, and I felt very highly about this series. And it just sucks that I mean, I guess it's only a matter of time, but man, 700 episodes in, I'm just like,
700.
Is it ever gonna end?
700 episodes.
I was gonna ask you, I remember you had brought this up a while ago about rivalries. How is the Luffy Zoro rivalry? Is it
Awful.
Amazing?
It's
Amazing.
It's
Amazing.
He said that with a question mark. You know he did. Like,
I think it's amazing.
so you think it's
like non-existent?
There you go.
Nah, I think it's pretty amazing.
I think it's. I want to hear both of y'all points
Because most of the time it's highly debated if who's even stronger. Like a lot of people want to say Luffy,
That's
but
true.
anybody who's like watched the series, you could question like, is he? And then secondly, when was that arc when they was, what the freak was it called? I can't think.
Tell
It was
me.
in that city and they actually had to fight each other.
It was around Alabasta, right?
Yeah, it was close to Alabasta, Baroque Works or something like that. Yeah, that part was pretty fucking insane. When they was sitting there, they was fighting each other, and then like two of the numbers tried to intervene, and they just knock out the numbers easily because they're trying to fight each other. That part, and then on top of that, like their back and forth arguments. Like what was it? One of the parts I know who I was talking about the boat, and Zoro just straight up tell Luffy like, "Bruh, you are the captain. You have to say something. If you don't, I will leave this team." And pretty much he was saying that, well, what's it name? Usopp was
Usopp, yes.
the deal.
Disrespecting him.
Yeah, he was like, "Dude, you are a captain. You say something." Even with the part where, what was it? What's his name? The tiger dude. I can't think of his name right now.
Lucci.
Yeah. When they first encountered, like he knocked out Luffy easily, and then it was Zoro who stepped up. Granted, Zoro got knocked across the city, but he stepped up. But the crazy part, like, even though he got knocked across the city, he got right back up. He was just like, man, that nigga strong.
So is it Yume's turn?
You know what?
I don't like their rivalry because like it doesn't feel like a rivalry. It's more like a leader and like a lancer. Like if you've been on TV tropes, it's like that person that kind of makes sure that the leader's in check, kind of something like that. And I feel like it's not really a rivalry. Like they don't fight, they don't argue that much. It's like Zoro kind of knows that he's the second in command. And he's trying to keep in check Meanwhile, other rivalries in like almost any other shonen, they're like pushing each other, become stronger. They're trying to surpass each other. You don't really see that from Zoro and
Luffy. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Because there's even a point where he was like, when they got to the new series, and what's his name? Luffy uses Conqueror Haki, and Zoro is like, if you couldn't at least knock them out, then you wouldn't be the captain. So he definitely always wants Luffy to be that higher or up in strength.
like I like that relationship. It's kind of cool how Zoro's like always there keeping him in check. He's like, you need to do this, you need to act more like a captain. But I wouldn't say it's a good rivalry. It's a cool relationship, but I wouldn't say rivalry. I'll say like rivalry would be like Goku, Vegeta, Sasuke, Naruto, something like that.
Yeah.
But Goku and Vegeta be fighting though.
They be fight. We gonna kill people to fight you, Goku. You better come down here and fight.
I was so proud of Vegeta when he killed those people.
They're proud of him.
That's
my boy.
Because like at that time, y'all remember we would always be like, they're not playing around. And like when he was watching Vegeta, I'm like, oh shit, he's not playing around. He wants to fight Goku. And I'm like, man.
But at the time, I'm just, and I kind of understand what you mean to a certain extent, because it's just like, I ain't gonna go so far to say proud, but it's just like, man, you ain't gonna do it. You know he ain't gonna do it. Oh, he really did it.
Yeah.
It was just that
he killed all them people. Notice how he wasn't aiming for Bowman, you know.
Yeah. And then he started loading up again.
Yeah. Oh man.
See, that's what I'm saying. He knew Goku wouldn't fight him, so he had to make him fight him. And I'm like, I'm proud of you for knowing that.
He a chump, bro. Vegeta a chump, bro.
He got, well, I ain't gonna say he got beaten. That was a pretty good fight, even though Goku was holding back. That was
Goku
a good
would
fight.
have whooped the trash out of that man.
He
was actually trying.
Goku liked taking damage. No, I ain't gonna say he liked taking. We all know
he liked fighting in face.
He liked fighting.
No, he liked taking damage.
He likes fighting. he likes fighting people at their level. So he can
remember the same move won't work on him twice. So
nah, I think the silliest part was when he against Broly in that movie. And he started off in base, even though nigga fucking Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta was having trouble. Why the fuck would you start off in base?
That's how he does. He fights.
Yeah, he always does it. But he probably shouldn't.
No, he probably shouldn't. But I like that about Goku. He's like, man, let me test you out in these, let me test you out in all my modes, man. I think stupid.
What I'm gonna say is kind of maybe controversial, but I think that actually is one of the reasons why I don't take their power scaling or levels too serious. Because according to them, Goku should have got obliterated when he ran up on Broly with at base form. It shouldn't have been a fight. It shouldn't have been. He literally should got his chest blown out as soon as he got hit once.
Should have got his chest blown out.
I would say you're right in Z terms, but in Super terms, I don't know so much, because they try to make an emphasis on the actual martial art sometimes. And Goku, you can say whatever you want about Goku, but he tries to master every part of, base form, he tries to master. Super Saiyan, he tries to master it all. And I will say this about Super. I love the way Goku, his fighting style has evolved in Super. Like, just I'm not trying to say the Ultra Instinct and all of that. I'm not trying to put an emphasis on that. I'm just saying his overall, the way he goes about fights now. Like it's like he knows himself more now in Super, and he knows what he can do. It's like he went from trying to train to actually mastering some of these arts that he's actually tried to, that he's learned in the past. Like when he trained with Master Roshi, he was still training after he was done training with Master Roshi, but it's like he's mastered that training now in Super, and he's able to. I feel like he's evolved more as a tactical fighter in Super, and I like that.
Yeah, I'm disagreeing with that because even especially in the manga,
What part are you disagreeing with?
him learning and mastering his fighting, because he really just relies on power-ups as usual, unfortunately, because Super Saiyan God with the red hair was perfectly fine. There was no need for us to go from introduce the Super Saiyan God, literally next movie we're at Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, and it's like, dude, why are we here? If anything, they could have just stopped there and emphasized on martial arts, but no, they kept going. So then in the first tournament, he go Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Kaioken, and it's like, dude.
Honestly, I think he does that. Going all the way back from when you were saying why didn't he just start out from, Super Saiyan Blue or whatever against Broly? I think he is trying to get the most out of his Zenkai boost.
Well, they said, I believe in the Goku Black Art, he doesn't get a Zenkai boost no more. He already used up his at Namek.
You only get one.
He kept spamming it. He started out. He went into the capsule when he got beat up by Ginyu or whatever. Not beat up, but he lost against Ginyu.
Yeah.
Thing when he lost against Vegeta. Vegeta definitely kept spamming it. That man, I'm talking about curly nub. Shoot me in my chest real quick.
Yeah.
Shoot me in my chest real quick. They literally spent it up. It's like,
So you only get one Zenkai boost.
That's cheap. What do you think they was gonna do? They literally
No. You get a limited amount of Zenkai boost. That is retarded. That's retarded, bro.
No, but what I'm saying
because
is,
when they put that in, they didn't realize how big of a plot hole that was.
The fact, Star, what I feel like when you mentioned this man going Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken, I feel like that enhances my point. Even though I was trying to put an emphasis on this man actually mastering his. I'm trying to say this man masters his forms and he masters what he's trained. Like the fact that this man can use Kaioken on top of Blue, in my opinion, shows that because like the fact that this man couldn't even we saw from what he was, he could only use Kaioken at a certain, like it progressed. I feel like, granted, it could probably make it stronger one day because we know what Dragon Ball Z is. Dragon Ball is at its essence. It's a power-up show. So I'm not trying to defend. I'm not trying to argue that point. Like I know that. I know it's he's gonna get a power-up. It's going to happen. I'm not trying to dispute that, but I still feel like this man has like. I'm saying his fighting, the way you said what?
How did he master a form that was a 10% chance he will survive?
I don't know. It's Goku. Like I don't know
how to master. Because he didn't die. Because he didn't die. That's how he mastered it.
I mean, how many times you saying this? You said there's a 10% chance he's gonna die,
and 100% chance he lived.
Oh, a 10% chance he survives. How many times has he used this ability and died?
That was his first time. That's the problem.
Bruh. Kaioken times 12. No, Goku. No. Bruh.
Kaioken in itself. Kaioken in itself has a chance of killing you. Not
If you use this ability one more time, I'll kill you.
Master Roshi explained that to him in the Z series. That when you use Kaioken, if you don't use it right, you could die. You could
Roshi told him that. You sure it wasn't King Kai?
Oh, King Kai, I'm sorry. Yeah, King Kai.
Bro, that just falls under the part of the anime that's just really stupid, bro. You remember when Kakashi said that to Sasuke, bro? You know, whenever it's
quotes.
It's retarded, bro.
For that. No, it's because like the Chris Mark gave him extra chocolate, I believe. That's why the Chris Mark came up when he did that third time.
Push too far, they kill you.
Yeah, he said it would drain up all your chakra, but then the Chris Mark gave him extra chakra.
Yeah, because it was because you know, that was Orochimaru, but we ain't finna get into that little plot point. I wish he still gave out curse marks.
That would be dope.
Like,
I think it's cool.
I wish they
I like
Orochimaru, but he don't need to though. Like I said,
he just show up. You know, somebody died, and he just like, oh, there's another me. All right, deuces.
Bro, when I say, bro, he's my favorite villain in Naruto. Easy.
He's the only villain in Naruto. Let's be real.
Exactly. He's always been ever since he was created. He's been the only villain.
He should get a curse mark back to Anko because they keep that waiting check. What happened to him, bro? Eat too much KFC. The Thunderburgers.
Oh my god, man!
Nah, bro, that's that depression when she lost to Kabuto, man. She didn't know what to do with herself.
She got full of herself.
Orochimaru said, "Man, I'm out, bro. And I'm taking my metabolism with me." Oh man, oh nah, bro.
That's hilarious.
We came full circle, man.
But yeah, man. Sleep. How long we been streaming for, Uwu?
Well, we came full circle off of because Anko, damn.
Yep.
God damn, boy. Oh, bro. I thought we was, still just enjoying the conversation. We are currently at 2 hours and 36 minutes.
2 hours and 30.
Yeah, don't even feel like it, to be honest. Because
really don't.
It's
crazy. Man, it's just a normal conversation between us.
Yeah, man. And see, that's where I wanted us to be before we actually try to promote anything. Everybody, we show up, we actually carry a conversation. It feels effortless, and before we know it, the time limit's up.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm happy we got to get into some MCU talk, man.
I wish we would talk more about comic books. Oh my God.
Hey, we can. I don't mind.
Send something to the chat so I can actually read up on it. So,
okay.
You talking about comic book stuff?
Red Sun.
Ooh.
Didn't they just come out with a movie?
Oh man, you know what's crazy? Slightly off topic. It's an anime that I think I was telling Dark about. It's called Moriarty the Patriot.
Yeah, you was talking to me about
Moriarty.
Really good.
It's alternative history where Moriarty is the hero rather than the villain.
Yeah,
Moriarty from Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, it's been really entertaining. It's kind of like if you was watching Death Note, and if Light wasn't pretty much murder. I guess that's how I'm gonna put it, because he started saying some dumb, his idea of killing the bad guys was not wrong, but then he just started going, off the handle after a while. So pretty much
people that came after him.
Yeah. And I think that's always the interesting part about that thought process, because he pretty much kills criminals, but you always going to be looked at as a criminal if you do that. So I guess Sherlock Holmes in the anime is like L, because he's killing people, even if it is for a right.
Yeah, it does sound interesting. It does sound interesting to me.
And I wonder, is it going to go to the path of Light? Because at the end of the day, you got to think he's a consultant. So if he sees somebody's having a problem with someone, and he pretty much talks to them about making a perfect crime so that no one can detect like it was a crime. So I wonder what happens when one of the people that maybe they tell on him, or will he ever have to kill someone that isn't necessarily a bad guy just to keep his name safe? So
You have to
Sounds
eventually.
interesting.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
spoiler.
Please don't.
Why would you spoil it after you just try
All
to
right,
get us
Tracy.
invested in it?
All right, Tracy.
No. Well, first of all, I called it spoiler, and then second, I was gonna just say one.
No,
One
see.
part is still a spoiler. See, that's what
Yeah.
even your own
No,
mic cut you
I
off.
was only gonna say that because I remember last conversation. Yumi was saying like, he doesn't mind spoilers because sometimes that's what gets him into the series.
All right. Okay. So what we're gonna do here? Is I'm going to reduce the volume on my end so I hear nothing.
Me too. I'm gonna reduce the volume on my end too, so I hear nothing.
Yeah, you can
I'm
actually.
just gonna block and delete them.
So all right, go ahead and
No,
I
don't
can't
go
hear.
ahead. No,
I can't
hey.
hear 'em. I'm good.
Oh man. There.
We hear
No,
nothing.
you don't need to say. You don't need to say. It's fine. I'll watch it anyway.
It's too
Speaking of
late, bro.
recommendations, I watched
It's-
Shahiru as well.
He done told his secret. I got to go off
Is
you,
he
man.
done?
Yeah, I finished it in
Yeah.
like 24 hours.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
over.
yeah, I think
He didn't do it.
he said he
didn't.
finished it in 24 hours.
Yeah, that was addicting. I also watched that, so that helps get past it. But like, good.
Okay, definitely.
You watched what?
Hero no
24
Sora.
hours?
Definitely have to.
No Sora.
We definitely have to talk about that
Oh,
next. Next.
He said it was addicting. Hey,
I'm
it
telling you,
was.
bro. I'm telling you. Like, bro.
Or you want me posted in the
Hey,
general,
hey,
or
hey,
you want me posted in the
You
topic?
may answer me this one question. Did you shed a tear?
I was gonna get him to
I
make a
did.
new.
I wouldn't say
Yes.
shed. Like there were tears in my eyes, but like I held it back.
Hey,
Multiple times it
bruh.
happened.
that's how you
Honestly,
know.
that one episode.
About
Yeah.
your mom.
About the what?
Was it about his mom?
What's about his mom?
Oh yeah, yes, episode 33. The song that played, amazing.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Man,
Oh.
man. Oh man, hey, you made, hey, man.
Hey, so
I
now
would
we
not say
have
it's
a
better
proper.
than Haikyuu, though.
Well,
You said
that'll
what?
be a discussion. I think
I
so.
would
I
not
think
say
so.
it's better than Haikyuu.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a discussion.
But I
Oh.
think it is the second best sports. It's way better than Slam Dunk. I don't know why people compare it.
Oh, okay.
You think it's
never
better than
mind.
Kuroko?
I have not seen Kuroko, but the way
I
I'm
say
saying
it is.
yes, I would say yes.
Oh, you
I
see
do,
that?
I do,
More
I do think
realistic.
it's better than Kuroko as well. Even though I like the characters in Kuroko.
I don't know if you can show that on a stream.
But
Let's,
yeah,
let's,
that's
take, let's
definitely
take a
a discussion.
ganderino.
Hey, you made, have you seen Ace, Diamond No Ace, or Ace of
No, I've
Diamonds? I'm sorry.
not. I've heard of it, but I've never seen
Okay. What about Yoichi no Pedal?
Ah,
it.
yeah, we're not
Nah,
gonna show that on
I've
stream.
heard of it, but I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
Okay.
I feel like
That's-
everybody, like hockey, you probably were like you no pedal because they do a lot of those little.
They do, but it's a super long anime. That anime is.
Were you about to tell them to read the comics or Superman Red Sun?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, that's
like
why
it.
I posted that in
I
there.
was into Yoichi for a
Yowamushi.
while.
Bushi.
Yowamushi for a while, but it's just like I told Star about it. Like
I was about to. hold
the
on.
training just got on my nerves, man. Like it was just so many episodes of them training, and then I don't know. It just kind of feel like it was dragging on it for me, and I did find it entertaining, But I mean, the Pex thing kind of was like, come on, bro. No.
A good one. I forgot what he calls his back.
He got back picks, and it makes him pedal faster. He goes faster, bro. It just,
Bro, what are you talking about?
it was out there, and I don't mind that. In
The fact that he's the new captain, bro, that's so insane, bro. Man, that show is so great.
and that is pretty ridiculous because I did not think he was going to be the captain. I never thought he was going to be the captain.
And he talked bad to the last captain. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, the monster of the road or something like that.
Yeah, he was like, you talked all that shit and you lost. You was the main one talking about high school is about winning. What happened?
Ooh. Hey, but like I said, I was into it for a while, but man, I will say this: it did seem like it paid off. Like from your reactions from it, Star. Like if you made it through some of the parts that felt like it was dragging on, it did seem like it paid off in the end.
Definitely. Like it's really like imagine hockey right now, but we actually get to see them like after this whole tournament. It continues, and we get to see them as second year. Like, and they lose their captain, they lose, some of the what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now. But they don't have captains to look up to no more, and also they have to teach the underling under them. That's a whole different character for them, for the characters.
Definitely, I agree.
And that's what you get to see in your Mushin no Pedal.
That's
because
pretty cool.
you get to see like, okay, the little glasses guy, he's actual stuff. So now you got to see him as a mentor in a sense.
That's pretty cool. Was he still timid?
No, he's not. Not nearly. Wow. Now he actually just goes out there and he's confident.
Oh wow. Because that timid stuff did kind of get on my nerves a little bit, but I mean, like I said, I don't mind it that much because I let it slide in a lot of things. Especially, I say the biggest one, which is a lot of people, I guess, find him annoying, was that scared dude in what was that anime series called? No. The main character, he has a sister with him at all times.
He has his sister with him at all times.
Yeah.
You talking about Irregular?
No, he has a sister with him, and she's like
game show.
No. She's in the crate because I think she turns into a demon if she.
Kimetsu.
Yes,
Demon
I think
Slayer?
that's yes, that's it. Demon Slayer.
The most popular anime of last year. This man with the name.
But yeah, I don't know. I like I can't, yeah, it was like Demon Slayer, but yeah, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. I lost my place where I was trying to.
You're talking about how he's timid.
Oh yeah, the scared dude, the thunder dude, and
Zenitsu.
Yeah. Thunder dude.
I don't care.
Like a lot of people find him annoying because he's always scared, and I don't know. Like I let that slide with that character because I don't know. He's just has so much potential to be cool.
Potential to be cool where?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
He has one technique and he can kill a lot of things. I don't know. I like it. I like him.
I like him too because like he's timid, but like when he goes to sleep, all that timidness goes away. So that's why I'm fine with it.
Yes, like, and he's I don't know, like
a boss.
That's his weakness is the fact that he doesn't know how strong he is, and he's scared, but he has that potential in him to be ridiculous. He just doesn't know it, and I like I don't know. I feel like I like things like that. Like it, maybe one day he will be ridiculous. Maybe he won't be as timid. Maybe they could tone it down a bit and then make his, bring his potential out a little bit more. I like that about some characters, and so I let it slide. I let the.
You don't like it. You said that you like it when he sleep. You like this character when he sleep.
No,
So
I like the overall character. I like the overall character because of
like he'll literally spaz out over like anything.
yeah.
Not just like
It's funny sometimes too. I'm not
It's
gonna
funny.
front
That's
like
the difference.
eyes, the snot nose, everything. Dude is
but it's not like okay.
Play for the comedy.
Yes, and it's not like
it ain't funny.
yes, it is for me. It is.
I think
It is like
kinda funny.
I understand. I understand why a lot of people will say it's annoying. Like I said, I'm not trying to argue that. Like I understand a lot of people don't like that. But I will say this about Deku in the beginning of Hero Academia. This man was crying and snotting, and it wasn't for a comical purpose. It was just because he was crying and snotting and was a coward and he was scared. He wanted powers and he didn't have them.
And I hated him.
Worse. No. That wasn't nearly as bad as Nitsu.
Oh, it was for me. It was worse because it wasn't
His wasn't comedic.
Yeah, it wasn't comedic, and then plus it wasn't like he had potential, but we only got to saw it after he got in school. Like it wasn't like we could see like, oh, he's pretty smart. He can be tactical. We didn't see that back then. And when the show first started, he was just a normal character that had no powers and he had no charisma to build himself up to even do anything. He was right then and there. I'm just like, okay, I want to see. The reason why I kept watching Hero Academia at that point was to see how they're going to build this character up to be somebody that's going to be the best hero ever. It wasn't because he was cool at any point. He was not comedic. He was not cool. He had nothing about him that made me want to keep watching besides the fact of how y'all going to make this character cool and the best hero ever. Like that's my personal opinion about Deku. In the first, I'll say, was it like 10 episodes? Well, 7 episodes.
Because he by the first 10, he had already fought Bakugo pretty much without an ability and won in a sense. Because he didn't use his ability against Bakugo. What do you mean, though?
No, don't say he won. No.
Won?
You said he won.
I'm saying he won, yes.
No.
Wait, how?
How come he did?
Like, are you talking
won
about
the exercise, but not the fight?
No, he got fucking mollywopped in that fight. Like, he could barely stand. But he was like, the objective. Like, Bakugo beat that man to sleep.
And I'm not trying to take away from Deku at all because
Please
Deku
do.
now.
Bakugo was the reason I actually initially started watching that series. And it goes back to me
He's
talking
the
about
best character.
hating angry characters. Because I didn't know why he was just angry all the time. I'm like, bro, I cannot stand like just characters.
Exactly. I remember I was trying to explain to you that like, dude, he's not gonna like. I was trying to explain to you why I thought he was a good character, and you just wasn't hearing it back then. I think you like him now, but back then you was not.
He's an amazing character.
Back then you was not having it.
Bro,
He
I
made
want
me
to
full show now.
I want to say on initial impression, you probably liked Robot Legs. I don't remember his name because I don't like his character. I just call him Robot Legs.
The dude that can run really fast.
Yeah, you may say that.
Oh,
Tenya Ida, I believe.
He was yeah.
See, I told you. I told
He's
you.
underrated.
No, he not. He right where he
He's
need to be.
underused.
He right where he need to be.
boy, ACR almost struck again.
You know what? You're right.
Especially the Stain arc.
Is it what?
Yeah,
The Stain arc, like he was built up as such an interesting character. It
Yeah.
felt like
He was.
He could be the next rival, but then they just like, you know what? Let's forget about him. Let's focus on Bakugo and Todoroki and completely forget about this guy. Let's not give him any power-ups. Let's make him weak. Let's do the Piccolo effect all over again.
Yeah, keep Robot Legs where he need to
No.
Nah.
Well, in the next season that's coming up with Class A versus B, he does get back.
Hey, Tracy, chill out. Us
He didn't even
anime
say spoiler
only.
alert or nothing.
Us anime only people don't know nothing.
Jesus.
Jeez, man.
I still feel like that wasn't good enough.
I think it is.
mean,
I think
I
once the
stopped.
anime comes out, it'll come out more because at the given time, reading it weekly, I don't feel like people really got as much out of it because I love that arc. I actually love because it was a lot of exposition, explanation to
No, I
the
kind of hated that
characters.
arc.
I love it. I love it.
I like what they were trying to do, but I feel like they could have done it better.
Yeah, they could have done it better.
Well,
Like, it was like a, I don't, well, you already spoiled it, but like it was basically a training arc, right?
yeah,
Bruh.
I guess you.
My problem with training arcs is that the tension is, at least in Hero, the tension is like manufactured. It's not real tension. You know they're not really in danger, and it kind of makes the arc feel weak.
So,
I'm not gonna spoil anything.
so
Man,
everybody in here that knew the next arc was going to be a training arc that hadn't either read or watched ahead, say I.
Star just spoiled it. He said Class A versus Class B. Like, what else is that gonna be? They're gonna try to kill each other?
So,
It kind of.
That'd be
so
cool.
also it
there's actually previews of this.
also it could have been
I don't watch previews
that-
because of this.
there you go. That when he said that, some of us automatically tuned him out and tried to interrupt him. Because I didn't hear the Class B part. I heard Class A versus, and I was like, no. Shut up.
My bad.
Oh man.
Golly, man. Can't be surprised by nothing, dude.
Oh,
By the way, did you know Darth what's his name?
I can
No,
just
but-
beat you.
no. I don't want to know no more. Don't. By the way, nothing. No. Hey, you may. I want to ask you a question. Do you have you ever seen Do you watch Star Wars? How do you feel about Star Wars?
Uh-oh.
I feel like Good World, but all of the stories in the movie are like mediocre or like meh and bad. But then the Star Wars, the Clone Wars animated series, like actually capitalized on it, and I feel like that's the best thing that came from Star Wars.
Oh man, you gotta talk to Zaraki about that. He loves Star Wars and all of that.
Yeah.
But have you,
What the hell was that? Shut up.
you may have you seen The Mandalorian?
My friends kind of forced me to watch some of it, but like I started tuning out towards the end because I'm like, it's just not that good.
Oh man, I completely disagree, but I can understand. Disagree, but I can understand how when somebody keeps telling you to watch something, when you're like, okay, I do plan on watching it. Watch it now. You got to see it. It's gonna be amazing. I can understand how you can be like,
Me and JJK.
yeah.
Oh my
The
god.
JJK effect. So I can kind of understand,
It's
but
not
you
even
probably
good.
have legit reasons why you don't like it. But I probably,
Yeah,
I kind of want to hear it. I do want to
I
hear it.
kind of. Well, from what I remember, it was like an episodic story, and like kind of didn't care about the main character.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. Wait. Ooh.
No, it's fine.
What?
Have you seen? You said you haven't seen The Mandalorian, right?
I don't plan on watching The Mandalorian.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Feel free to
feel-
ruin everything about it. I'm not going to watch it.
Nah, I won't go into spoilers because I do remember some of the stuff, but I can't tell you everything that happened because I wasn't paying attention. So like, when you have an episodic story, I feel like what I want from it is something like
Getting time.
Cowboy Bebop or Samurai Champloo, but better, like where you put like your everything to every single episode, and like each story is like engaging, emotional, and like well done. And I feel like I didn't get that from The Mandalorian. Kind of felt meh. It wasn't that entertaining. Like there was this one episode where they were like training people. I feel like that was probably the best episode where they're training them to defend themselves. But like, I don't really like the character. I don't like the main character that much. I don't care for Baby Yoda. I don't know, none of the characters really have any charm to them. And on top of that, because of the recent movies, I was kind of falling off of Star Wars, and that's when I started realizing I actually only like the Clone Wars animated. So like, it's okay, I guess. I didn't finish it, and I would not continue.
Hell yeah.
I can kind of understand where you're coming from as far as there's not a huge cast of main characters. It's one character, and if you don't really vibe with that main character, then you're probably not going to vibe with the show. First of all,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I hate series like that. In fact, that's why I used to hate main characters in general, because I hate if I have to. Or so when the story revolves around this character so hard that you're almost forced to have to like them, and if you don't like them, you probably care too much for the series. So I like series like Hitman Reborn.
Ugh.
That what?
Nah, that shit stuff is low.
Ugh.
I've never.
This man sound like Lil John and the East Side Boy.
I couldn't get into it, man.
Great.
People say it's good, but they start off like comedy.
Yeah, it's a lot of gag.
I hated that.
Oh,
It took Star and he that shall not be named so long to get me to watch that anime series, because I tried, and the first, like, what was it, 30 something episodes were like,
Excuse me?
it was
Yeah.
30 something episodes?
it was completely absurd.
Of course
It's
it didn't
funny.
make it.
Can't wait that long.
Completely. It took them so long. I'm telling you, they would tell me I feel like on a daily basis to watch this series. I'm like, dude, bruh. It's traumatizing. How long?
Yeah.
It's like when you send somebody invites on PlayStation, spam them invites over and over and over and over again, and you turn off your notifications.
Yep. I've had some people do that to me.
Ooh,
I had to
who
turn
would
off my
do such a
notifications.
thing like
That's
that?
like something a simp would do.
It was
Good
so
thing I'm the
bad.
One's a
anti-simp.
regular simp. The other one's a simp for traps. Apparently. Let me stop. I gotta
That's
go to
gay.
sleep.
That's your game sharing partner.
Oh my god. 30
I gotta
something
go to sleep,
episodes.
guys.
It's
All
ridiculous.
right, bro.
Man, you alright.
I posted some comic book references, whatever. If you're gonna read Injustice, read the first 4 comic books. If it doesn't get you hooked by then I don't know what ails you, to be honest. And Simp was gonna recommend the
What,
Red
Red
Sun.
Yeah, Superman Red Sun.
Red Sun.
That is a
Yeah.
super great comic book for us to start
Which
with.
one would y'all like to talk about? I guess in the upcoming.
Superman Red Sun is pretty self-contained.
Yeah.
So that's like a good like afternoon read that you can just get out of the way. Injustice is far more involved.
It
and
is.
it's far longer. Now,
It is.
to me, the story is much better because of how batshit crazy things get.
Yeah.
Because the Injustice video games, this is the actual story in between. I'm sure you all inferred that.
They owned Simp. They owned the games, but never played the storyline.
Well,
the
anybody who knows me know I don't ever play stories
What
ever.
the
Yeah.
hell? Dude,
Yeah,
dude.
They were literally. It was said that they had the best storyline in fighting games in history. Like in all of fighting game storylines, that was the best.
So that is well deserved.
I think.
Do you want me to spoil a little bit of the storyline for you?
Well, I know enough about it. I mean, and I don't. Like I said, I've never cared about game story modes or any of that stuff. So
I'm gonna need you to like repent to whatever deity you believe in for this blasphemy of saying I never cared about video game storylines.
oh no, bro! I remember I was playing Metal Gear Solid. I think with Light one day, and it was like a cutscene was coming in, and I pressed start immediately. He was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Bro, I'm trying to get back to the game. I didn't play this game to see and read a story. I played to play the game."
Listen
all
to
I-
this guy.
Metal
I
Gear,
came to
all
play the
games.
game.
Of all games, you skipped the story.
But I will
wait,
say that was a
wait.
bad choice because Metal Gear has an amazing story.
A lot of games
Yeah.
have an amazing story, but you won't know that because you skipped the damn story.
Oh my god! Read the first four comics in Injustice, and that's what I recommend. It's not long. It's really easy to read. You read it from left to right.
I think I'm illiterate.
Look, you skip Metal Gear storyline, so I mean, illiterate is telling you why you skipping. So I mean, I mean, okay, yeah, just read. I guess we could. What do you Simp? What do you want to talk about as far as which comic book? Because I got to brush up on the Red Sun. But I'm pretty well involved with Injustice.
I mean, we can do Red Sun because like Injustice is so involved.
It is.
Like that. That's a podcast.
See, but I don't know how much they're into comic books because I know that.
Well,
I like.
that's why I say Red Sun. Red Sun is intriguing enough, and the main character of it is familiar enough.
Yeah.
Because that's how that's how I get people into comic books. Like I give them a character they already know, so there's nothing they have to like relearn. Everyone knows Superman.
Yeah.
Whether you're a comic book fan or not, you know Superman. You know he's weak to kryptonite. You know he has all kinds of fantastic powers, and you know he's an alien.
I
Yeah.
want to read some with John Constantine.
A lot of people don't know his full backstory, but with this taking place in alternate history,
What is it? The Elseworld?
I'm not
Or is that
exactly
Marvel?
sure.
I think
I'm fairly
it's
certain that's Marvel, but
okay.
with being able to have this, I just think it's a good starting point where you don't have to invest too much time or commit too much to memory.
Okay.
Reading, yeah, that's why I say Red Sun. Like Injustice.
Oh,
holy
Elseworld is
shit.
DC.
Holy shit, Injustice is. It's so good, but it's involved.
Yeah,
Like-
it is.
Like Death in the Family, I feel is involved. Even though you could read that in an afternoon, but there's so much backstory behind it. Because
Well, you
there's so
talking about
many-
Injustice?
No, Death in the Family.
Oh, about to say. Because
No.
Injustice is now from year 0 all the way to year 5, and I'm pretty sure there's more than that.
Is that the same one with